And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here. You could be almost anywhere. You're about to be anywhere you want, but you're right here with me, and I most certainly appreciate y'all for that. Like the video if you like it. Share the video. If you are a first-time viewer, please subscribe. If you're listening to me on an audio streaming platform, give me some love over there. I definitely appreciate you if you did that for me. But there's a whole lot of things going on right now in the world. I don't even know where to start. I guess the main thing, well, one of the main things would be that hot mic moment. Did you guys see that? In the White House press briefing room talking about, oh, we're all vaccinated anyway. Vaccinated from what? The virus or something else? What are we talking about here? And then they revealed a study that has come out to the public. It's not a secret that in Southern California, LA County to be exact, it's not 7,000 or 8,000 or 13,000 people that have the virus. It's more like 221,000 to 500,000. But yet the deaths remain around 630, 700, something like that. So if you take even the low end, 221, and divide it by 700, you get a fraction of a percent. That's the death rate, just like the flu. So why can't we come outside again? Why must we stay in our homes again? I can't really tell. I don't know what the big deal is. It doesn't seem to really be a serious issue. We'll talk about that particular situation and much more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I, again, thank you all for being here. You could be anywhere, but you're right here with me, and I can appreciate y'all more for that. There's a whole lot of things going on Al Gore's internets, and I'm glad that I'm able to talk to you guys about everything that's happening, because there's so much going on. I don't even know where to begin. So much. It's a whole lot happening. All right. The hot mic moment. I know you guys saw that. This happened in the White House press briefing room. What was it? Yesterday, day before yesterday? It was, not long ago, a little while ago. You have, I think it might have been Peter King from Fox News. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But you had a reporter talking to somebody else. I think the guy who I think is Peter King, the kind of tall guy with no mask on, he is speaking to the guy with the mask on saying, hey, you don't need that mask. What you doing with the mask? They came out with a study that says between 221,000 to 441 or 442,000 in Los Angeles County most likely have the virus. And that comes from a USC study that got published in LA Times. Now, the deaths have not jumped up. They thought it might have been like between, at the time when they did the test or the study, they said it was like 7,000 confirmed cases in LA County. But then when they did this study, they're talking about, more like 221 or 442,000. But the deaths still remain right around 600 or 700. So the death rate is a fraction of a percent. What are we doing still locked up? Matter of fact, what I was told from the beginning, and again, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I love to be corrected when I'm wrong, which I'm not really wrong much, because if I speak about a thing, I have done my research. I have dug into it to know what I'm talking about. I don't just talk for no reason. But anyway, if the numbers are as high as what the study is saying and the deaths are as low as what has been confirmed, that means that the death rate is a fraction of a percent. Why are we still locked up? I was told the reason why we're in quarantine, isolation, whatever you want to call it, is because they wanted to slow the spread, not stop the spread. That's a key thing. Slow the spread, meaning it will spread, but we want to slow it. So we don't want to overwhelm the hospital system with people in there dying on ventilators, all this, that, and the third. Across the country, you have hospitals laying off staff, nurses, all of that, going home. In Virginia alone, they laid off 30,000, 30,000 people that work in the healthcare industry. Okay, so there's obviously not a problem with the hospitals being overwhelmed. If you got nurses on TikTok coming up with dance routines, all kind of stuff, people getting laid off, they are not overwhelmed with the virus. That was what I was told would be the problem if we didn't stay home. So obviously we fixed that. So what are we waiting on now? It's a low death rate. Hospitals are now overwhelmed. What are we doing? I think at this point, it's all about control. You have the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, saying, hey, let's get back cracking. Let's get opened up. Tattoo parlors, this, that, and the third. Let's go ahead and do it. We're losing money day by day. Let's go ahead and get back cracking. Now, Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta and possible VP pick, we'll get to that in a minute. She's saying, nope, don't want to do it. We want to stay closed. Why? I know how Atlanta is. I've been to Atlanta. I got friends in Atlanta. Atlanta, it could get rough when people don't have their money. All right. It can get really, really rough. It's rough already in certain parts of the city, but it'll get super rough, beyond rough. I'm talking about you can't even really imagine how bad it can get if people don't have their money. They're not able to work. It's not a good thing. Not just those that may be able to file for unemployment, but those that can't. Those that kind of work under the table. Those may be kind of like trying to get a sole proprietor thing going on, trying to make money here and there from jobs, but they can't really file for unemployment. So it's going to get rough. I don't know what she's thinking about not wanting the city to be back open again. I don't get it. The airport, if that thing is not really operating the way it's supposed to, that's going to be a big problem. It's like a city in there. A lot of jobs for Atlanta residents, a lot of black folks in there working all over the city as well. A lot of these service jobs, people say, oh, well, look, you're being selfish because you want some workers back to work, but the CEOs don't got to work. They could just stay home and do whatever they want. See, that's just kind of a silly way to look at it. Number one, the CEO is an employee, maybe talking about the owner. The owner is losing money as well if he can't operate his business. But aside from the big guys, aside from the high paid employees, and aside from the owners, shareholders, or whatever, big shareholders, the regular everyday person has got to go to work to be able to eat. Okay. People like AOC talking about, oh, do you want to go back to work? Do you want to go back to working 70 hours a week to put food on the table? I mean, what do you propose? Socialism? Where the government gives me everything, but I got to do whatever the government says. We're seeing it happen right now. Okay. The government says, hey, we'll give you a check of $1,200 for, being out of work for 2 or 3 months. But hey, it's fine. It's okay. Because guess what? We're going to protect you from the virus. If you go outside with your kids and you play in the park, we're going to arrest you because you are not social distancing. You are not obeying the shelter in place order. So we're going to arrest you. Don't you feel safe? That's what it's going to devolve into. Socialism, communism, same thing. It'll devolve into more government control, more government into your life. How does that make any sense? Who wants to have a thing like that go on? But that'll be the end result if we're not able to open back up. Because at this particular point, it's not about slowing the spread or anything like that. It's about control. Simple as that. A lot of these politicians, when they get their particular viewpoint across, they want to start implementing certain things. They want to use what's happening right now in an advantageous way to benefit them and whatever they got going on. It won't benefit their constituents. It won't benefit me if I need to work outside and I can't work for 2 months and nobody's helping me with any kind of money. All right. Maybe you go to a food bank and the food banks are jam-packed. I'm talking about jam-packed. Like I saw a food bank line. I saw one the other week. I did a show and that was in San Antonio, Texas. It was pretty packed. But I saw another one from Ohio. Matter of fact, if I could find the video right quick, I'll place it on the screen. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, here it is. Let me just make sure the sound's not on for that one. But here we go. Let's go ahead and put it up right here. Now, this is crazy. You would think it's like a race car. Hold on. Let me just put it up. Now, this is in, where is this at? Fairborn, Ohio. Okay. You see all the cars. Look at all the cars. These are all the cars going to one food bank. All right. Look at this. They got cones on the ground. And you got to ask yourself, how much food can you really get from a food bank if, number one, you got that many cars, and number two, it's only one place? How much food you going to get? How long will that last you until you right back at the same food bank for more? I mean, it's crazy. And then it's going to get, like I said, in Atlanta, all over the country, it'll go from, okay, I'll go to the food bank and get my food and just have that be that because I don't have any money. It'll devolve into a dangerous thing where it's like, you know what? I don't have food. How about I take out my gun and rob you for your food? How about that? You know, that's what it'll evolve into. Now, is that the food bank right there? I'm not sure what that is. But they got the food outside. You can't even go inside the jank. And that's something else that's, a problem. Not only do you have people that need supplies, you also have a weird way that the supplies are doled out. And it could be cumbersome, it can be slow because you can't even go inside the place. People got to hand you your stuff. Now, I would imagine that if you're getting handed a bunch of stuff by people outside and they're right next to each other, that's not, following the guidelines. I feel like if you just were able to go into the place and stand in a line or something like that might be a little bit better. But maybe they don't want you to be standing in a line. But maybe what's happening right now was that the cars, that's a new food line. That's Bernie Sanders' dream. Oh, it's a good thing you can go to a food line because it means you have food. All the cars. So, I mean, what are we really doing? You got to get back open. I don't understand anybody could be against opening back up, but hey, I guess somebody might call me a little bit later once I get to the calls at about 9 o'clock to tell me why I'm wrong, that we shouldn't open back up, that we should just starve to death. I'm not really sure what's going to go on. That 1,200, that's a nice little gesture, but people need much more than that for 100% sure. Thomas says that's a FEMA style supply line. That's where we're getting at. The FEMA camps, remember the FEMA camps back in the day? They might get put to use. Okay, Little Drummer Girl says the building is the Nutter Center. It's an arena that was being used to load up. Okay, I got you. Is Friato opening up? I'm glad to hear that. Friato's opening up. I think by May 1st, you'll see things be back to normal to a certain point. In most places in America, where I live at in Tennessee, the traffic is picking back up. People are getting back to normal. Okay. At one particular point in time, I was not able to go in certain food stores and get things like, like fast food. But now it's like you can kind of go in there a little bit. Like it's starting to loosen up. Some of the bigger chains ain't really doing it, but some of the smaller spots are pretty much like, whatever, come on in. That's pretty much what's going on. It reminds me of West Virginia a few years ago. Some of you guys may be from there. You may know what I'm talking about. But there was a water spill in the river, in the Canal River, if I'm not mistaken, or in the tributary of the Canal River. But anyway, right on the river, there's a bunch of chemical plants and stuff. One of them spilled and the chemicals got into the water for a month or 2 months. It was a long time. People had to boil their water or they couldn't use the water at all. And they had to take baths with bottled water, everything. They're brushing teeth with bottled water, bathing with bottled water, cooking with bottled water, drinking bottled water. Everything was bottled water. You cannot use the water at all for an extended period of time because of the chemical in the water. But then they got to the point where restaurants said, you know what, we're going back to the regular water. Okay, we used the bottled water long enough. We're going back to regular water. And then at a certain point, everybody said, okay, we're going back to regular water. We can't keep this up by using the bottled water to do everything. It becomes costly. It becomes just unnecessary. You got plastic piling up. It's just too much. We're going back to regular water. It'll be the same thing here. Okay, we did social distancing. We did the quarantining. Enough's enough. The virus is not, this big ominous threat like it may have been at one point in some people's minds. So let's go back to normal. That's what's going to happen. Now, in New York City, I don't know. That might be the kind of oddball in the equation because it hit them particularly hard. And I think the reason why it hit them hard is because of the treatment. That's just my opinion. I don't know it to be sure, but either it's the treatment or the dense population. Everybody's like top of each other. They're in the subways, buses. They don't have no room to breathe, really. In these buildings, these big high-rise buildings with sometimes shared air, that could be a problem. That could be a big part of the reason why they have a big outbreak. But aside from them, just regular towns, regular cities, they go back to normal May 1st. State, same way, May 1st. Texas, everybody. So it is what it is. Yep. So, hey, People talking about it's selfish. Nope, you got to get back to it 1000%. But thank y'all for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me the thumbs up on the video. I appreciate it. Oh, let's talk about my man Vernon Jones being forced out of the Democratic Party out there in Georgia and the Atlanta area. I think he's like DeKalb County. He's a state house rep in Georgia, a Democrat. Now, he had the audacity, the nerve, the gall to support Donald Trump and do it publicly with a Twitter video. He came out and said, hey, I support him. He's doing the right things. The First Step Act, freeing black folks from the penitentiary, money towards HBCUs, lowest black unemployment rate ever. He's doing a great job. I support Donald Trump. Okay. Now, right when he did that, I figured there'd be some backlash. Now, I supported him. I'm like, hey, hats off to you, man. Bravo for doing a great thing, for understanding that you have a great candidate here and not letting your party affiliation blindly lead you. You're just seeing what makes sense, and you are speaking based on that to support Donald Trump. Okay, he has your best interest at heart. Go for it. But I knew when he did that, he'd get backlash from the Democrats and the black community, of course. I'm reading things talking about his family had been threatened. They're threatening him. They're attacking him for supporting the president. And then I read an article from AJC, that's the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I read an article from them talking about the Democratic Party in Georgia are trying to find ways to punish him. I'm like, punish him? I mean, what does that sound like to you? Like you getting beat on a plantation as a slave when you do something wrong? That's kind of what it felt like. And that's why a lot of us say, you know, it's a Democratic plantation. That's how you get treated. You want to misbehave. You want to do something off the reservation. You want to go against the grain. Okay, take this 100 lashes. Take this whipping in front of everybody. That's what we're going to do. You know, when you want to read and become educated about a particular thing. Oh, no, you can't do that because that's not, you're not reading the approved materials. You got to read this thing over here. Read what we tell you to read. Do what we say, or else you're going to get punished. That's pretty much how I read what was going on with my man, Vernon Jones. So as a result of all the threats of the attacks on the Democratic Party in Georgia, and also the Democratic Party endorsed his opponent to take his seat rather than him, which it had done the last time. After all of that, he said, okay, I'm out. I'm done. He said, I'm off the plantation. I'm finished. I'm paraphrasing his words, but he did say I'm off the plantation. Let somebody else take it. I'm good. And hats off to him. Now, I don't know if he's going to be a Republican or a conservative, libertarian, or whatever. I don't know that. I will respect him if he's still a Democrat because he at least is thinking for himself. That's my whole thing. That's what I always wanted. Think for yourself. Don't just be blindly led by the Democratic Party into believing whatever they want. And some are going to say, oh, this is his first time running. He's just trying to get some attention. No. He's been around since the 90s in politics as a Democrat. So he had no real incentive to become anything other than that. He was just being true to himself. And he's been a conservative Democrat for a long time. It was funny. I was watching Roland Martin, aka Carl Winslow. That was funny. Whoever said that last time. But anyway, on Roland Martin's show, they were talking about Vernon Jones, and there was a lady on there saying, this is no surprise. I live in Georgia. That's my home state. He supported concealed carry on college campuses. He supported smaller government, things like that. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with that? Small government? Who doesn't want small government? Who doesn't want to pay less taxes? Who doesn't want to have less intrusion on their everyday lives? We see what's going on right now with these quarantine breakups. You're not social distancing. You be in the park playing with your daughter, swinging her on a swing, and you getting locked up for that. A lady got locked up for doing that, for real, like in the park. If I could find that, I'll put it on the screen. But that's big government right there, to where every part of your life is controlled. Who wants to have big government? I don't, not at all. And also, you concealed carry on college campuses. What's wrong with that? I don't really understand. The things that she was saying were things that just make sense for anybody. It doesn't matter if you left, right, whatever. I don't see how anybody wouldn't want to protect themselves and how anybody wouldn't want to have less government in their life. Who says that they want more government? I mean, I guess people that say they want more government just want more handouts from the government. They don't really want what comes with more handouts, which is more government enforcement of rules. because when you make big laws like that, you're going to have big laws that got to get enforced. All right. You can't just make a particular law and say, oh, we're not going to enforce it. We're not going to do anything if you violate it. Nah, there'll be more enforcement of said law. So you're going to have more government in your everyday walking life. I don't want that. But some people do. Not really sure who. But anyway, he's been conservative as a Democrat for a while, and we need more of that. If you're not going to be a conservative and you still want to be Democrat, at least have a little bit of, a little brain in your head, and don't just go all the way far to the left. Be a person that can look at a thing and judge it fairly rather than being blinded by your political affiliation. So shout out to my man, Vernon, 1000%. Unfortunately, you had to go against the Democratic mob. You were basically convicted of treason for daring to think differently, be differently, act differently. But hey, if you want to come to our side, you welcome. Come on, man. It ain't nothing. Like, you already think out of the same things we think. I see his Twitter. He's retweeting CJ Pearson, Katrina Pearson, maybe even the Candace. So I'm like, okay, you're getting into the vibe. Come on over. I would not be surprised if he is at the inauguration with us. If I go to the inauguration in November, I wouldn't be surprised at all. With a MAGA hat on and the whole thing. Throw Kanye in there, throw everybody in there. And the black vote for sure this election, November 2020, is going to be something different. People aren't really going to be prepared. I'm ready, though. I'm going to be surprised. If it's 35% black vote, I wouldn't be surprised because of everything that's going on. Because when a guy like Vernon Jones get publicly reprimanded by the Democratic Party, people are seeing this. They're saying, hey, I don't like the way they did that to that man. Some may not even like Trump, but they don't like the way that he was handled by the Democratic Party. They're threatening him, threatening his family, supporting their opponent. They're not handling anything behind closed doors. They're just trying to humiliate him publicly. I mean, what's going on with that? Yeah. Hey, that's a good idea, October Scorpio. Get him on the show. I love to get him on the show. He has been speaking to the media as well. I love to get him on the show for sure. And I'm going to try to sell him on, coming to our side. If he doesn't want to come, that's fine. But I'm going to try to sell him on that. All right. Hey, it's a lot of topics, but thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. Like the video if you like what you're hearing so far. You guys are fantastic. Couldn't do it without you. But yeah, let's talk about, I'm gonna get to Facebook in a minute. Let's talk about the mayor of Las Vegas versus Anderson Cooper live on CNN. Now, this was one of my favorite videos. I'll send in a minute. I love this video. It was great. She handled it like a charm. Like she was a class act. She didn't go off of the reservation. She didn't get to cussing and fussing, wasn't angry, had a smile face the whole time, and was able to handle him very easily. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, back up a little bit. Anderson Cooper had the mayor of Vegas on, and she has been a proponent of opening the city because they're devastated right now. They have no tourism, which means no economy. Their economy is based on tourism. You got over 2 million people in the city, and they need foot traffic from outside of the city in order to have everything going right. Because remember, you have all the casinos there. That's a really big attraction, not just for the United States, but all over the world. People come there to go to the casinos, the hotels, to see the shows, the Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, or whoever is in Vegas. They come there to see that. And then not only do they come to see the big events, go to the strip, sightsee, be a tourist, they also go to the ancillary businesses that surround these bigger businesses and that are in town. Okay, you might stay in Vegas for a short period of time, right? You might have a timeshare or something there. You may be there for a month, 2 weeks or whatever. Now, what you're going to do there is spend money in the local economy. You're going to go get something to eat. You might go to get your suit dry cleaned. You may buy a suit, a dress, something in there. You may even get a car. You're doing different things in Vegas that depend upon the tourist industry to thrive. Those that live there are going to buy everyday things. They're going to buy cars. They're going to buy houses. They're going to buy a lot of different things because they make money a lot of times that comes from the tourism industry. If you have a local business, you may not necessarily be tourist centric, but people that come to you may make a lot of their money from the tourism industry. So it's a big part of the economy. It's the heart of the economy, and it's gone now because of all the restrictions, regulations. Oh, hard to fly. You got hotels closed, casinos closed, All the shows are shut down. You can't perform. No music, bands, or anything like that coming to perform. So what are you going to do if you are a resident of Las Vegas and you've lost all this economic influx of cash that you normally would have? How can you make it? You're going to be out of luck. So the Las Vegas mayor was saying, hey, look, there's no big problem here. There's no big influx of the disease here. Let's get back to work. Let's do it right now. We don't have time to waste. And Anderson Cooper wasn't really liking that too much. He was trying to insult her, talking about, oh, you're ignorant and you have no plan. You're a cheerleader. He was ridiculous. Like, he was really crazy. But you know what? Before I continue, I want to say one thing about Anderson Cooper. The talk between him and Miss, the mayor, I forget her name, Miss Goodman, the mayor of Las Vegas, it felt like a son trying to argue with his mom. And he's not able to do it, and he is mad at her because he's not able to really argue against her very well. That's kind of what it felt like. It was like a personal thing for him, in my humble opinion. Kind of sending, it was ridiculous. Like, that's something you would see in high school. Anderson got a head full of gray hair. He's not a high school kid anymore, but some people never grow up. They stay in that infantile state. But that's a different story, and I digress. The whole point is that he looked terrible trying to have a conversation and or debate, whatever you want to call it, with her. She's right on point. It's like, look, Vegas is struggling. I'm the mayor. My constituents are saying, hey, we need money. We need to work. What are you going to do about it? This is not a place that's been hit hard by the virus. So what are we going to do? A lot of virus to contain us in our homes, so we can't work, we can't eat, we can't pay our rent, we can't pay our mortgage, we can't pay our car note, we can't pay the car insurance, we can't pay the cell phone, internet, whatever kind of bill you have, water, gas, electric, we can't pay anything because we're being forced not to work. I need you to go out there, Miss Goodman, and fight for us, the citizens of Nevada. And she did just that and did it very well, 100%. So shout out to her. Yeah, he did look mad. So he looked mad. Because he couldn't do nothing with her. She was wrecking him. And she was tearing them apart. I mean, it was great to see. But, you know, she was just trying to fight for her constituents. He was like twisting the words, talking about, oh, you're worried about the casino owners, not the regular people. It's like, nah, it's not even about that. And you know what? I hear that same kind of line of reasoning a lot on the internet, on Twitter especially. People be, you know, hitting me up talking about, oh, you're just concerned about the businesses. You're worried about money. It's not even about that. It's about the regular, everyday normies, the people out there that work hard, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 days a week, you know, 10, 12 hours to be able to make something work. It's about them. When you take that away from them, it's like, what are we doing? We got to have a free and open society. If a person if they're afraid to catch the virus, they can stay home. They can self-quarantine or isolate, let them stay home. But the rest of us who are not scared of the virus, let us go out here and continue to work. I'm seeing articles posted. One I saw was of a guy that died of the coronavirus, allegedly, who had been protesting against it or just against it in general on social media. People are laughing at him, talking about how that's what you get. First of all, you don't know why he died. He may have had the virus in the system. That doesn't mean he died from the virus. Dr. Burks got on TV and said, look, if you have the virus in your system, we're going to assume you died from the virus. Okay. Underlying symptoms be damned. It doesn't really matter because you have the virus. You're going to be counted as that. And there's a bunch of money behind these, diagnoses of COVID-19. A lot of money behind, like I said before, between like $13,000 and $39,000 per patient. If you have a patient that gets put on a ventilator, you get $39,000. Now, my theory was that the ventilators are causing the problem in New York. They got all the ventilators and they asked for more. They got as many as they needed, but they had plenty of them and were using them. So I think that could be part of the reason why there's a high death rate in New York because of the ventilators. But they got plenty of money for them, right? $39,000 per patient. What's really going on? Does it cost that much for a ventilator or to implement the whole thing? I'm not really sure, but I'll digress. The whole point is that the mayor of Las Vegas, Nevada did a fantastic job on CNN, ranking Anderson Cooper. And you know what? I'm watching this thinking about CNN and how far they've fallen. They used to be a trusted news source, a trusted media outlet, but no more. Those days are long gone. They've been gone for years, 1,000%. You go there just to kind of see which journalist, quote unquote journalist, is going to act up next. Is it going to be Anderson Cooper? Is it going to be who else? Jim Acosta, Don Lemon. Which guy on there is going to act up and throw a fit? That's what I want to know. But it is what it is. Fox is 99% fake too. Fox is the best place on TV for news, but they do have some stuff wrong. To say it's like mostly fake, I think that's wrong, but I think that they're not as good as a lot of stations are that are not mainstream. Fox is what you're going to get on mainstream TV, but there are other stations that are better that operate online, like One American News, Next News Network, InfoWars even to a certain extent. Okay. But as far as like anything else, mainstream media, CNN's got to be the worst of the worst. I said it once, I'll say it again. I trust TMZ more than I trust CNN, and that's really a crying shame. TMZ at one point was a gossip rag, like National Enquirer. Now I trust them, and they're reporting more than I trust CNN to a certain degree, almost 80, 90%. I will say that. You understand what I'm saying? Only thing about TMZ is that they'll post stuff that's not confirmed by anybody. They'll just have a hunch and put it out there. No retraction or nothing like that. They just change the story. You know what I'm saying? So that's their only flaw. But for the most part, they're right on point. Yep, CNN is not news. CNN at this point is just it's propaganda. And the craziest part about the whole thing with Anderson Cooper and the mayor of Las Vegas, Carolyn Goodman, is that at the very beginning, he posted a chart from China. It's like, really, sir? You posted Chinese propaganda at the top of the segment. Chinese propaganda? Really? Is that what you're going to do? Come on. We all know that China does not tell us the real thing. They'll tell us anything they want us to know. Okay, so you can't trust what they put out to you. Do some independent research. That stuff is in Mandarin. I'm like, man, come on. That could say kung pao chicken, and you don't know what's going on. Do some independent research. How about that? Okay, I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? It's crazy, but that's where we are nowadays. You got your mainstream media outlets push Chinese propaganda, talking about how great China is, and they don't want to acknowledge Taiwan. Oh, it's a Chinese city. It's a Chinese region, really, or it's a country by itself. I'm not really sure. But thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate it. What else we got going on? Oh, here's the big one. Facebook will ban you if you are organizing a stay-at-home protest. Meaning, if you are against the stay-at-home stuff, you want to get back outside, get back to work, get back to life, and you organize a protest on Facebook, your page may be deleted, or at least the ad might be deleted. If you post the ad more than once, you may have your page removed. I'm no fan of that at all, not in the least bit. But that's what Facebook does. Apparently, lock you out of your own thing, block you from posting a thing about that. Now, the reasoning, hold on, take a swig of water right quick. Good old water. But the reasoning is that Zuckerberg says it's misinformation. Well, how? Misinformation, what does that really mean? If I'm organizing a protest and I want to have conversation about the thing, and it's not even about necessarily the virus itself, as far as its chemical compound and whatnot, it's not even really about that. It's about more of trying to, it's about trying to call an end to this whole shutdown thing. That's all. It's not about the virus. It's about calling an end to the shutdown. The virus is out there. We know, okay, if we want to risk being out there, let us do that. The risk is apparently very low, like I said from the beginning, in LA County, which is a lot of people in it, 10 million people in one little small area. I've been to LA. It's not quite like New York with tall buildings, but it's still tight together, okay? You kind of elbow to elbow in LA, just not vertical. It's more horizontal. It's more spread out. But anyway, 10 million people in LA County. Out of that, you had 442,000 that probably have it, and only 700 or less really that have died from it. Fraction of a percent. So what are we doing still locked in our house? Let's be able to go outside. Why is that misinformation to just say that? We're just trying to figure out why we're still inside and why we can't go back out. And to open our business back up again, people got kids to feed, they got mortgage to pay. And at a certain point, you can't just get out of everything. A lot of Americans are doing the mortgage forbearance right now, but people still got to pay other things. You still got to pay rent. Can you do rent forbearance? How about grocery bill forbearance? How about electric bill forbearance? How about water bill forbearance? And you got to have these things. Cable bill, you can cut that off. but you got to have power and water. In Virginia, if you don't have power going to your house, you can get evicted. At least in the apartment. I don't know about your brick and mortar, like one that you own, but you got to have power. You got to have water. You got to have these things for living. Okay. You got to have food in the fridge to be able to eat. You got to have power for that. You got to have power to be able to cook. You got to have water to be able to bathe and drink and everything else. So it's not about the virus. It's about us as a people trying to get back on track and get back economically strong. The longer we wait, the harder it will be to bounce back. And you're going to see crime spike as a result. So even when we come back, like let's say for example, Atlanta, even when they come back from this whole kerfuffle, they're still going to be in a bad situation. The longer Keisha Lance Bottoms holds out talking about, oh, I don't want to reopen right now. I'm going to disregard Brian Kemp's order. You're not really going to be able to do a whole lot because last I checked, Atlanta is not that big, actually. Atlanta has a big metro area. Keisha Lance Bottoms is not the mayor of the whole metro area. So, for example, it's what I'm getting at. Atlanta, the city may be closed. What about College Park? What about Lithonia? What about Stone Mountain? What about all these places that are close to Atlanta, but not Atlanta, and they're open? All you're going to do is just make some of them bums downtown get violent, being dead serious, not even trying to joke. Okay, all you're going to do is just make the crime issues in the Atlanta city limits more difficult to be able to get over. Simple as that. Speaking of Keisha Lance Bottoms and Georgia and Atlanta, let's talk about Joe Biden right quick and his VP pick. Now, I saw today that he's going to organize a committee to select the VP on May 1st. He would not announce the VP until July, right before the DNC, if there is one, which there should be. So my question to anybody out there would be, why is he waiting so long to select the VP? I mean, you're the only guy left, sir, so what's taking you so long? I mean, you should do that right now to try and bolster your campaign. People are trying to say that it's going to be Michelle Obama. Not a snowball's chance would it ever be Michelle Obama. Never. It's not possible because, number one, this is beneath her. This is totally beneath her. Michelle Obama, she don't got to be no vice president. She could be the president or run to become the president if she wanted to. Okay. And what she's doing right now, she could be more subversive against the nation in the media, doing Netflix stuff and things like that, and still kind of being in DC doing projects, and she can by being the vice president. And beyond that, Biden can't win. Biden is declining day by day, and it's a sad thing to see. So with a guy like that and Michelle Obama as a vice president, that's obviously a lopsided ticket. It should be the other way around. It'd be the equivalent of Walter Mondale running with Reagan, but having Reagan be the vice president and Mondale as the president. That doesn't make any sense at all. Mondale shouldn't even be on the ticket. And if he were to be on the ticket, he'd be the vice president, not the president. Simple as that. So she doesn't want to be the vice president, and definitely not to him because he's going to lose. And if she were to run, it'd be lopsided. It'll look ridiculous. She'd be looking all youthful and energetic compared to Joe Biden having one foot in the grave. 1,000%. Yeah, it's going to be a black woman or a woman. You know what? What's going to be funny is when he selects Amy Klobuchar or something crazy like that, and then it's going to be a revote from the black community, but then they still go out there and vote for him. Matter of fact, I think if he does something like that, you may have some people that stay home from the election or go over to the right. That might be their last straw, the proverbial last straw, possibly. But who do I don't know anything. I'm just talking. But anyway, it's going to be a woman, but not Michelle Obama. It'll probably be between, speaking of Atlanta, like I said, Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, or Stacey Stacey Abrams, pardon me. I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Anyway, Stacey Abrams, because she's been on TV vocal about wanting to be the vice president, and it kind of makes sense. You got the strong black woman. You got the, what do you have? You have the minority, two minorities, female black. Okay, you got those two things going on right there. Double minority. So she fits the bill. And she's not looking like Keisha Lance Bottoms, who is kind of attractive. So it wouldn't be a thing of, oh, you just got an attractive girl. It wouldn't be that. You got a bloodhound on your team, pretty much. But I digress. All right. Would it be a white woman bill? It could be, but I doubt it. I think it'd be Stacey N1 Abrams for sure. And what else we got here? Oh, we got super chats on deck. Let me get to those right quick. We get to calls in a little bit. Hold on. Eddie B says, ABL, did someone say making crime worse? You see, when de Blasio was surprised that crime rates rose among the criminals they let out. Surprise. Exactly. Okay. Because of the virus, they're letting criminals out of jail. And people are surprised. Well, de Blasio was surprised when they went out and committed more crimes. I think one guy killed somebody when he got out early because of the virus. I'm like, well, you don't say. He was in jail already for a violent crime. So when he gets out of jail early, I mean, he'll go back to what he already knows, especially right now. Like, if you let him out of jail, what are they going to do when they get home? Ain't no jobs. What are they going to do? Like, where's the brain power here? Okay, you're trying to protect them from the virus, from getting it in jail, but then you let them out into the world. They have nowhere to go, and they're criminals already. They're crazy. They're dangerous. So, of course, they're going to recidivize. They probably did that crime on the way home from the penitentiary or jail, whatever they came from. That was easy to predict, but people like de Blasio don't live in the real world with the rest of us. He lives on Mars with Al Gore, where they made the internet together. He does not live on Earth. It's pretty much what it is. Alrighty, but shout out to the super chats right quick. We get to those and we get to some more topics. Shout out to Eddie B who says, ABL, if things get somewhat back to normal by May 1st, then that's really bad news for Democrat socialists who wanted to use this crisis, quote unquote, for political gain. Economy rebound strong. They're done. Exactly. I saw AOC, pardon me, talking about, oh, we don't want to go back to this. We're not trying to do X, Y, and Z. Matter of fact, let me pull it up right quick and then I get to some more super chats. And thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. Give me a thumbs up on the video if you like what you're hearing so far. That'll do me wonders. Matter of fact, here it is right here. Check it out.
I think when we talk about this idea of reopening society, only in America does the president, when the president tweets about liberation, does he mean go back to work? When we, have this discussion about going back or reopening, I think a lot of people should just say, no, we're not going back to that.
So what's the alternative here, ma'am? I can't go back to work. I can't go back to making money. So how am I going to eat, ma'am? Like, what's your proposal for me to eat?
We're not going back to working 70-hour weeks just so that we could put food on the table and not even feel any sort of semblance of security in our lives.
When you say we, what do you mean we? I mean, tell me that. I mean, do you enjoy your job? I mean, how often do you work, AOC? Do you want to just not, like, it's easy for people like AOC to say that because they're still getting paid, okay? Everybody that I've seen go on TV or something like that says, hey, stay home, don't worry about it. They have no worries about money. Or they just stay at home with their mommy and daddy at 45 years old eating chicken tendies. You understand what I'm saying? They have no responsibilities. They don't have anything to actually be worried about. No skin in the game. It's easy for you to still be getting paid while you at home chilling, stay home, don't go back to work while you still getting paid while not being at work. If people could stay home and get paid, not from the government, just magically for some kind of money tree that just wafts money into the living room, into their lap, maybe they do that. But people, at a certain point, sometimes they take pride in the work. You ever think about that? They might like their job. They may enjoy their job. It may keep them sober. You're not seeing the bigger picture, AOC, as many Democrat socialists do. They think about just trying to use this to push forward their particular narrative. Now they're thinking about the actual individual person and how they're suffering right now a lot. But yeah, that was on my mind. I had to get that off. Yeah, but shout out to her. That's what they want. They want to bring in socialism. They say, oh, don't go back to work. Go back to what then? Getting paid by the government so then they can control me and do whatever they want to me? How about not? But shout out to Yogi Fish who says Jones should stay a Democrat and be an example to others of a real honest politician. I agree with you on that. You talk about my man Vernon Jones from Georgia, the Atlanta area. I agree with you on that 100%. Yeah, stay Democrat and just be a stand-up guy. Stand for what you believe in. Don't let anybody bully you in anything else. do what you want. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Shane, who says, where is the timeline to end social distancing? It won't end. This is done to introduce us to our new normal. Trump is big government. Conservatives can't be married to a party standing up for freedom. Well, Trump is the guy trying to say, all right, states, let's come and try to bring it to an end. Matter of fact, I think Kemp was talking about opening like tattoo parlors and whatnot. Trump was like, hey, I don't agree with that, but hey, that's what he wants to do. Then go ahead. He ain't trying to stop him. He ain't trying to say, nah, you can't do that. He's trying to give more freedom to the individual states to do what they want to do. So doesn't that mean more freedom and less tyranny? I'm not really sure, but thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Mr. Cooper, who says YouTube took down High Impact Flicks video where he covered the White House hot mic yesterday. Have you had any problems from YouTube or your video? I've not had any problems at all. And that's kind of weird because that's like public domain. You're talking about White House footage. I'm not really sure they can take that down. I mean, because I pay for the White House, right? We pay for the White House. You pay taxes, right? You're paying for the White House. You're sending that money to D.C. and they're doing whatever they want with it. You're paying federal income tax that goes to D.C. So they can't shut down stuff from inside the White House. I don't understand it makes any sense. But thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Eric Burns Marsh, who says, I'm so proud of Nancy Marie from France. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to, who do we have? Max Dominguez, who says, starting 427, Harris County, Texas, Houston, mandatory to wear a mask outside your home or face $1,000 fine. Wear a mask if you want, but mandatory. Exactly. That's my whole thing. That's all I'm saying. If you want to wear a mask, do it. All I'm saying to the government is give us the guidelines and let us do it if we want to do it. If we don't want to do it, that's fine. We should be able to do what we want. Have some freedom. Give us information. Don't hold things back from us. Keep us informed about what's happening and the best ways to combat the virus, but don't force me to do certain things. You're going to give me a fine for not wearing the face mask, but yet little fire starter over here gets let out of jail. He didn't shot 5 people, gets sent home from the penitentiary early because of the virus, and then kills 2 more. And you shocked and surprised about that. But if I come out somebody out of a mask on, being law-abiding, minding my business, I get a fine. Y'all in my personal space for what? I saw a guy, I said it before in a different video. It was a paddle boarder out there. I think it might have been California, Santa Monica, somewhere. Anyway, a paddle boarder was out in the water by himself, nobody around. And then the police pull up on him in the boat, violating his bubble, and arrest him. It's like, look, okay, if I'm not, quote unquote, social distancing by being out here in the water, I'm definitely not doing it right now with you guys right in front of me trying to arrest me. So what are we really doing? Like, this whole thing is just, people are so scared. They're implementing rules that don't make any sense. And some people that are enforcing it are kind of just like torn. Like, do I enforce this? Do I not enforce this? It's really weird. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Shane, who says the mayor should have told Anderson to stop mansplaining. It's obvious that they want to keep Stairs Collar to collapse the economy. Only way Biden has a chance. Yeah, they want to keep the economy depressed like this because then it can make Trump look bad. It doesn't even really matter if people suffer, if they die, and they commit suicide or whatever. I heard in Knox County, Tennessee, like Knoxville, there were like 8 suicides in a 24 to 48 hour period. The numbers are kind of wrong. I'm not exactly on point, but it was a lot of suicides in a very short period of time. If I could find that, I'll link to it in the box. But people are suffering. And, you know, some are going to say, oh, well, you should have money saved up, all this, that, and the third. Well, it's not quite that simple because there's a lot of other things that affect your everyday life that are impacted by this shutdown. They're talking about globally, there could be a famine because of this shutdown. Airline industry, they about could put the gas is plummeted to like below zero. Everything is affected by this. It ain't just people in their savings account. It's the whole global economy. Everything is affected by this. And it could last for years, the impact. So, you know, it's kind of shallow to think that it's just about one person and their money. It's about the economy as a whole. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Nippon, who says, no protests here in the UK right now, but if the government continues to extend the lockdown lift date, it won't be long before we begin to protest too. Exactly. I called it too. You're going to see civil unrest. You cannot keep people in their houses forever. not making the income, not giving them much of anything is going to be an issue for sure. Shout out to Sir Nasty who says, put Michelle A in charge of Fox News, then I might trust it. Shout out to Michelle A. And thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Miriam Vidal who says, they're called a left because they ain't right. There you go. Right on point. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Colette who says, I'm using my 401k to support me. I saved all my career in oil and gas to have that at retirement. I'm really, sorry for that. It's really a shame. Hopefully we're able to get back on point because this thing going on right now is ridiculous. People are losing everything behind this, all because of what? The virus. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it until it's not true anymore, which probably forever. The so-called cure, which it ain't a cure, it's just a matter of trying to slow people from getting it. Like when they say slow the spread, flatten the curve, all they mean is that you're going to get it, but it's a matter of just trying to not have everybody get it at once. Have the infections kind of be spread out over time. So flatten the curve. So it's not like this and go straight down to nothing. It's like this, and then it'll take longer to get to zero than if you were to have the straight upward spike of having no kind of quarantine or anything like that. But everybody's still going to get it. They're saying, we can't overwhelm the hospitals. People are laying off, nurses and everything all across the nation. They're getting laid off. They're doing TikTok dance routines. So what are we really doing? Open it back up. What's taking so long? I don't know, but I digress. Thank you for your donation. And shout out to Sir Nasty who says, when are you going to start doing interviews with these commies? Sir, can't wait. Hey, I love to. It'd be great. I love to do an interview with some of these commies. If they want to call the show, that's fine. My phone is available for anybody to call. 434-658-1220. Not right now, but in a minute, they can call up. If they can't get through, then try again. We'll make it happen. Ain't no question. But one thing's for sure and one thing's for certain, I don't lose debates. If I'm going to get into a debate, I'm going to win because I know what I'm talking about. If I'm challenged to a debate and I'm not up on the subject, I don't know what the subject is, I'll say, you know what? I don't know anything about that, so I can't talk about it. I only talk when I have information about what I'm saying. That's how I operate. So if they want to debate, come on in. If they want to do an interview, whatever it is, that's fine. I don't too much care about it. It is what it is. Exactly, wrong station. The grocery store is packed from rooter to the tutor. You go to Walmart, it's like the club. You go to Walmart, it's like NBA basketball game in the lobby. You understand what I'm saying? Elbow to elbow. Social distancing. I can't tell. Go to Walmart right now. Go to any store like that. It's packed. 5 o'clock, whatever, packed. But church, you can't go to church. If you have a drive-through service at the church where you're in your car, not even outside your car, they're shutting that down. But Walmart, it's fine. It's wide open. It's crazy. Bruce says, I'm glad you're here. I thank you, man. I appreciate you for your kind words and your donation. 1,000%. Oh, Trump versus Biden in a debate. That wouldn't even be fair, Kerry. That wouldn't even be fair. I mean, that'd be, like I said before, it'd be like an old man getting beat down by a young man. You understand? Like, if you ever seen some, like, extreme wrestling, it was this guy, New Jack. And he was in the match later in his career. He was known for being hardcore and doing like really physically painful stuff in the ring. This is not like WWF, WWE, WCW, where it's more choreographed and dancing. This is more like, I'm going to cut you with a razor blade so you bleed on your forehead so it looks kind of nasty on TV. Not to kill you, but to kind of, get a little bit of blood, get a little bit of color, as they call it, right? Now, this guy, New Jack, got into a match with a guy that was 70-something years old. He's like in his 30s or 40s, right? And the guy his whole thing was, I can't feel pain. So when you try to do certain little wrestling stuff where he's like, you're not really hitting me, I'm not even going to react to it. I'm not going to be flopping all over the place. You got to do something to me for real. New Jack took all kind of sticks and chairs and beat that old man down. That was crazy. That was really crazy. And he's the kind of guy that does not care if he hurts you. It's like, oh, well, I didn't do it. So what? But even he was like, that was ridiculous. I shouldn't have done that. You understand? Like, I don't want to see nothing like that. I don't want to see no old man get beat down by a young man. I want to see an even match. I want to see Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield in their prime. I don't want to see some 85-year-old man get something to wine. You understand what I'm saying? But I digress from there. Yeah, shout out to New Jack, Gangsters. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Shout out to them. But yeah, that was his name, True Sherm, Gypsy Joe. Yep. Got beat down. It's like, man, come on. Really? You beating this old man like that? Like he stole something? That's not right. That'd be the equivalent of Joe Biden and Trump in a debate. You can't be like an old man. Young man beating an old man. I mean, Trump said it. He was like, I'm a young, vibrant man compared to Joe Biden, and he is. Trump is no spring chicken, though. He's like, what, 74 years old? Biden is 77, going on 107. And it's really a shame. The Democratic Party should let him just go home and chill. They should not have him out there on the campaign trail. Then they talking about, oh, I'm going to get Michelle Obama. No, you're not, sir. Nobody that has a future will run with you. You understand? Stacey Abrams is a loser. She might run with you. But Michelle Obama, oh no, this is beneath her. Michelle Obama at this point is like Oprah. Like they're pretty much neck and neck at this point, and I'm serious. Like the whole Netflix thing, Michelle Obama will be the next generation's Oprah, unfortunately. Hopefully not, but that's kind of what it's looking like. Shout out to Thaco. I know I'm killing your name. Davidson, who says Black Republicanism and Black conservatism is on the rise. Hashtag MAGA, hashtag Trump 2020. These leftists, liberals, and Democrats are the new Communist Party. They want total government control, even that you think. Thanks, ABL, for all you do. And thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. And you're right on point. The leftists are going so far left. People that were on the left comfortably for a long time have been left abandoned. Like my man Vernon Jones said, the Democratic Party left me. I didn't leave them. I'm right here as a Democrat doing whatever I'm doing, and everything was fine for a long time. Then all of a sudden, oh, here comes late-term abortion. 9 months, when the baby is crying, you can kill the baby. Here comes all this transgender, kids, 12 years old talking about, yeah, I'm transgender. How can a 12-year-old boy say he's transgender? How can you know at 3 years old you're transgender? That kind of stuff right there is making people say, you know what? This ain't the party for me. I'm going to go ahead and walk away. I'm a Blexit. I'm going to do whatever I got to do. But thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to, who do we have here? Almighty 7154, who says, are Americans going to self-quarantine the next time an organization say there is another pandemic or COVID-19 has come back? No, I'm not. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not. And they're already saying that it could come back in the wintertime. So we can come through this whole quarantine thing, almost kill the whole world economically, causing famine, outbreak, hunger, disease, strife all over the world, to go right back in November, do the same thing. No, thank you. Not doing it. Not going to happen. And nobody's saying that because ain't no cure for this. There's no cure. Ain't going to be no cure. Like, let's be clear. The coronavirus is a word for the common cold as well. The common cold is a coronavirus. Is there a cure for the common cold? That's been around that's been around forever. There's no cure for the common cold at all. Will there be a cure for this? No, it won't be. Definitely not right now, not anytime soon. If you can't cure one coronavirus, how can you cure another one? So it's going to be here. We got to do with it. Most you could do is treat it. Hydroxychloroquine, certain little things you can do. I don't know, but how are you going to cure it? I doubt that you actually can. So it'll come back. And I tell you what, I'm not self-quarantining. And I think a lot of businesses won't either. And at a certain point, if the businesses stay open and the police are not going to enforce the quarantine and stuff, then what will the state do? That's going to be interesting to see. I'm already seeing right now, you got sheriffs around the country that are not enforcing these social distancing guidelines. They're not handing out fines and stuff like that. Where I live, it's pretty much chill. Ain't nobody getting arrested for violating social distancing and stuff like that. So it's all good. It's good money. All right. Thank you. So yeah, ain't no problem at all. Yeah, gotta have that good tea. Talking for a while, you gotta have your throat and everything soothed. That's a good question, Patty Kistner. Patty says, what's up with the North Korean leader? You're talking about Kim Jong-un? He could be dead. If he's dead or not, I won't be surprised. And if you don't know what's going on, anybody in the chat, what happened was there was a story that broke that said he's in grave danger. He had surgery, allegedly, to repair his heart or some kind of cardiovascular surgery. Could have been heart, could have been something else right around there. But anyway, he had surgery, according to the report, and then he was in a coma or something like that. But that it's all over the place. AP was saying something, Reuters was saying something, ABC was saying something, and it was all different. So as of right now, I don't know what's going on. One thing that they said was that he had not been seen in a few days. He had missed some important events. He could be dead. Now, the thing about it is, this is very sensitive. If he's dead, that's going to be a very big problem. Very big problem. You're talking about a refugee crisis. A lot of different things can happen at that point because North Korea is a very insular country. Imagine if he dies and then they get internet. Like if he dies and that whole thing goes away and then they overthrow the government, like it could be a really big problem in North Korea if he dies, for sure. So I got my eye on that, but as of right now, I don't know. But he might be dead. They may try to conceal that he's dead to keep the citizens calm. But if he dies and they find out, that's going to be a problem. Alrighty. But Kim Jong-un is not a healthy picture. You understand? He's like kind of overweight, not really the kind of guy that you would think would be able to withstand getting sick from the virus. You understand what I'm saying? So he could be dead, but we don't really know that. We'll just see what happens. We'll see as the days and weeks progress. If he does not come out of hiding or whatever it is for a month, 2 months, he's probably dead. All right. Word of G3 says, Kim surgeon didn't kill himself. Hilarious. Hilarious. And that's a fact. That is a 1,000% fact. Shout out to Eddie B who says, ABL, how many times must I say this? Biden is sundowning right in front of us. Got to be blind not to see it. Exactly. He is sundowning. It's not like a form when you have Alzheimer's and, it's just you're starting to fade away. I saw Al Gore having a little live stream with him, and Al Gore had the same kind of look Sanjay Gupta had when Biden was struggling to talk, stammering his way through it, forgetting where he was in this sentence. Sanjay Gupta was kind of looking like, and Sanjay is a brain surgeon, so he would know if a person is struggling. Looky how on his face told everything. It told 1,000 words. He did not say anything about what was going on, but I saw his face. That's all I needed to know. And the same thing with Al Gore. Al Gore knows what's going on. Anybody can see what's going on. We talk to this man, but they can't say anything because that's the Democratic Party's nominee. If you come out and say something, then you're just trying to help Trump. You're a Russian bot, and you pretty much are just cast away from your political life, from your career. And that's pretty much where we are nowadays. It's really a shame, but it is what it is. All right, let's get to the calls. You guys have been great so far. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me open up my Skype right quick and turn my desktop audio on pause so you guys don't get the big ring in your ear. Weekend at Kim's, you guys are hilarious. Yeah, but he's probably dead, though, unfortunately, because he's a person. But at the same time, this guy is not a nice guy. He will, kill you just for thinking a little bit differently. Communist dictator. That's pretty much what he was. He may not look like Idi Amin or Pol Pot physically, but don't get it twisted. He's a deadly person. Didn't he like poison his uncle or something crazy like that happen? I'm not sure what's going on. Let's get to the first call. Nippin, what's happening?
Oh. First, I'd like to shout out the Democratic Party. Thank you for effectively throwing away your minority support. You've just given away one more ally to us.
All right, no doubt.
They forced out a Democrat from their party, a black Democrat, and now they're...
You're talking about Vernon Jones, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they did.
Thank you. I have to thank them for that. They've gifted us an ally.
Absolutely, because he's on our side now, as far as I know. He might still be a Democrat, but he's pretty much on our side, at least when it comes to, the election in November.
Yep. Look, he should stay a Democrat, in my opinion, and set an example for other Democrats.
That's right.
And then maybe they'll have a chance at actually challenging for state offices.
Maybe so. I mean, it's possible. It's possible, but
It's only as one-sided though. If they become more centrist, I'm telling you that now.
But you know what? One thing about it is he was removed from the party, basically. Like, he might want to stay a Democrat, but if he's being removed from the party, he may not be able to actually have a choice but to leave.
Wait, how comes my video's not showing on your live stream?
I'm not sure, but you got to keep going.
But yeah, Vargas versus CNN. The Las Vegas mayor has basically lashed out on CNN. So what of it?
Did you see it?
Yeah, not really.
Well, you got to watch it. It's kind of a long story.
So yeah, and now there's another craze. Now the left is calling racist. Trump has suspended all immigration into the States. Good. We should do the same.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. So, I mean, we got the issue with the virus going on right now. The last thing we need is more people coming into the country that are not going to have jobs available for them because of all the jobs that have been lost for American citizens.
And I don't see why they're actually calling him racist. I mean, he suspended all immigration, not just black people, not just Asians, not just all immigration, which means from England, which means from Scotland, which means from France, everywhere. Nobody can go in.
Exactly.
Nobody.
That's right. That's right. 100%. But see, people don't think that way. They just think, everything is racist. They don't understand why it's racist. They just kind of use that word and they overuse it to the point where it means nothing. At this point, the word racist just means I don't agree with you.
Well, if you're looking at racists, look at yourself in the mirror.
That's right.
You just kicked out a black person who was, I don't know, basically for going against party lines.
That's right.
And, on our side of there's a lot of stuff on our side of the Atlantic too. Our lockdown has been extended until at least the 7th of May, which I'm not happy about. Just saying.
Now, do you think that it will be over at that time, or will they extend it some more?
They're not going to lift all the restrictions straight away.
So
that I can tell.
When will they be able to say the lockdown is totally over and you're back to normal life? Like, is there a date for that?
Everyone is asking them, but they're just saying we're not sure. In other words, just wait. I'm sorry, if I am forced to wait. Okay, I'll give myself until the 28th of next month because they're not going to budge from the 7th. I know that for a fact. If they do, that would be great. They're not going to lift the lockdown on the 7th. I'm going to be perfectly honest on that. I'm going to give them till the end of next month to get their act together. Otherwise, I'm going to stop protesting.
I hear you. That's a long time because when did the lockdown begin in UK?
The 23rd of March, 9 p.m.
So
GMT.
So that's like like 2 months, two months since 2 months and change.
Even the deaths are going down here. We're starting to see what everyone's saying, the curve, the plateau, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is people don't really understand what that means because I'm seeing people talk about this thing on social media saying if you stay home, the virus would be dead. It's like, that's not how that works. When they're talking about flattening the curve and slowing the spread, all they mean is that people will still get the virus, but it won't be all at once. So the hospitals won't be overwhelmed with people trying to come in there getting treatment. So it'll be easier on the hospitals, but everybody's still going to get it. So it's no avoiding it. You're still going to actually get it, like the flu or anything else. So, I mean, all they're doing right now is just trying to buy time and just delaying the inevitable. And then it might come back in the wintertime. So let's say they release the restrictions on May 28th. Okay, you got June, July, August, September, October, and then here comes November, right back in the same place. So what they should do is stop all this nonsense and let's get back to normal life, because what we can't afford to do is do the exact same 2-month shutdown or 5-month, 6-month shutdown when next time winter comes, next time it gets cold. We can't do it anymore.
No, I'm going to protest because there's no way you're keeping me in my house for 3 months. There's no way you're doing that. I mean, I won't. You're not stopping me from staying at home. Sorry, from not going out.
No, I hear you.
I want to go out. I want to see my friends. I mean, this might be home, but there's only so much you can do.
Right, I hear you.
So yeah, and now Mark Zuckerberg, an internet fascist, he's decided that, you know what, he's decided, you know what, you can't organize protests.
Yep.
On your Facebook account.
On Facebook, he says misinformation, but I'm like, how is that possible? Misinformation. We're just protesting the lockdown. It's not about anything else. We're not trying to make any kind of statement of a thing that's different than what is provable facts. We're just trying to say we don't like this anymore. We want to get back to normal life.
Yeah, we just want our freedom back.
That's it. That's all we want. That's not a bad thing to ask.
Exactly. You know what this reminds me of? What Democratic governors are doing. Like, do you remember George C. Wallace standing in front of the schoolhouse back in the 60s?
Oh, yeah.
To prevent the black students from going in.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of the same thing all the Democratic governors are doing in their states, refusing to open up for business.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point. Absolutely, man.
Look at Gretchen Whitmer. Look at Andrew Cuomo, Gavin Newsom, and all these other SJW morons.
That's a good point, man. But hey, this has been a great call, but I got a few more calls on the line I'm going to get to.
Yeah, it was nice catching up with you, ABL.
Likewise, man. Thank you for the calls always, man.
I shall speak to you on Sunday.
Right, Saturday my time, Sunday your time. I got you, boss.
Yeah. I shall speak to you then.
All right, now take care.
Peace.
All righty. Shout out to everybody in the room. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like on the video. Share the video as well. And if you are a first-time viewer, go ahead and subscribe for me. It is free. And I thank you for that. We got a few more calls on the line. Unknown caller, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? Yeah, this is Paul, man, from China. I called in about maybe 3 weeks ago and spoke to you. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm good, yeah. Just want to get your thoughts on, what is the status of employment, going to look like when the dust finally settles and we get past this thing. So I'm over here in China, right? And I'm in education, and everything has pretty much moved to teaching online. I was in the training centers teaching kids. Now I'm teaching kids at home over the internet. And how it was half the country, the teachers who were teaching online from China and around the world. And then the other half of us were teaching face-to-face in the training centers. And now the training centers is closed, and all of us are teaching online. And China is starting to open up a little bit. A lot of the kids are going back to school, but most teachers are still teaching online, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. I think even when the training centers open completely, it's not going to look like what it used to, and that is education, but like many industries, back home, like my sister, she's working at home now, and it might be that way for a long time, and a lot of people are working from home. So, just want to kind of pick your brain a little bit about what is employment going to look like when this thing is done. Just one more point. I saw an interview with Jack Ma. This is a few years ago, on CNBC, and he was talking about how the future of employment and business basically is going to be everything's going to move to the cloud, and really it's going to be every individual person kind of running their own business online, And then you had Andrew Yang, who was a very tech savvy politician for the Democrats. He was talking about, universal basic income because AI and, autonomy is just creeping into every industry, and a lot of people are going to be out of work. So he's promoting like $1,000 a month for universal basic income. Elon Musk, he also supports universal basic income because of the onslaught of AI and autonomy creeping into every industry, even white collar industries like medicine. It's gonna the future is gonna be, AI doctors and so forth. So even when this whole thing does settle, I don't think employment is going to be what it used to be. I think this whole thing has accelerated the movement of people to working online, and I don't think those jobs, those manufacturing jobs, the jobs people were working before this thing happened, I don't think a lot of jobs are going to come back, even when we pass this whole thing.
Well, the problem is that there's plenty of jobs that you can't do with a robot and still have to have, person-to-person connections. A lot of the physical labor jobs, your plumbing, your HVAC, what else? Like electrical work, construction. A lot of these things you have to do when you're actually on the job doing it. Some companies are going to do work from home. That's going to be a thing. But the food service industry, a lot of the service-based things that we do in America, which is pretty much what we do a lot here, is less manufacturing here anyway. What we're doing is more service-based. A lot of those jobs are still going to have to be in person. Some things are going to be telework, at least for a little while. But eventually, you come back to the office because you got to be working with a team. It's hard to work online with everybody. It ain't quite the same thing as being in a team. Education is a big one as well. You got to go back to school. Teachers got to go back and teach. Kids going back to school to learn that way. They can't all be homeschooled. They got to go back to school. So there may be some parts of the economy that can stay home, but not a sizable enough amount. And as far as having a UBI, $1,000 a month, how much is this whole thing costing with trying to get everybody one check of $1,200? You're talking about an insane amount of money, and it's hard to even get it done. And that's just one check. Imagine if that check was becoming every month for everybody. Like the way we got it right now, it's income restricted. But what if it was for everybody? Even if it's income restricted, it's still a lot of money to do it every month. So that's not necessarily a thing that I think is sustainable or really doable. I think the better thing would be to reduce government regulation and restrictions so you're able to have more businesses pop up to kind of shore up the economy, because the way it is right now, it's going to be bad for a little while.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be bad for more than a little while. Honestly, it's going to be bad for a long time. Just one more thing. With the $2 trillion unemployment or whatever package that they just passed,
Mm-hmm.
where everybody's getting these $1,200 checks. That went to unemployment. It didn't really go to it didn't go to salaries. How like in Italy, how they're doing it is Italy, they're doing a similar thing, but the government is paying businesses the money so that they can pay out the money to workers as a salary, so that they're basically keeping their job. Whereas where we're doing it, it's like you lost your job, but you can get it through unemployment. And when the dust settles and we get past this thing, a lot of jobs that people had are not gonna be there. Airline in Australia just went into bankruptcy. The airlines is collapsing. A lot of industries Hollywood has been devastated. A lot of actors not be going back to work. People in a lot of industries, their job is not going to be there waiting for them when this thing passes, and the unemployment is only going to continue for so long. So I just think that the whole AI, autonomous, that whole drive that people were worried about, that is going to push more and more people out of the workforce. This thing has accelerated it. it hasn't completely driven out, the need for physical labor, but it's definitely accelerated it. And, I think it's like a new norm waiting for us. I don't think it's going to look the same way it did before. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, when we get past this thing, that job that $1,200 was holding them to keep them steady.
Well, I gotta say one thing. They are doing the PPP, so they're giving businesses money to be able to pay their employees. That's part of this whole bailout thing. They did it. They put out I think it might have been 300 million or 400, not million, pardon me, 300 to 400 billion dollars, and it already ran out. And they're trying to get some more money to give more businesses money. You had some companies that got it that shouldn't have got it, like big companies like Chris, they got some money. But the purpose is to give small businesses money so they're able to get the employees on board. And if they get their employees on board for a certain period of time, it becomes a grant and not a loan. So they're trying to do that right now with the money, but it's not sustainable. What has to happen is we got to get back to actually making money and not be relying upon the government, because the more we just print, the cheaper, the less valuable the money becomes. And then you get to hyperinflation. You end up like Zimbabwe a long time ago, and we don't need that in the country at all. So we got to get back to producing things again. And I think what's happening right now with China could be kind of a blessing in disguise, because it lets us know that, hey, we got to wake up. We're too reliant upon China. We got to be more self-sufficient, being able to get things done that way, man. But hey, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, now take care.
Okay, but yeah. All right.
All right, shout out to the caller. I most certainly appreciate him. Now, I got calls on the line. I got to just keep it rocking a little bit. Shout out to everybody that super chatted so far. Shout out to who am I here? Thank you to Harley Rider 1 for your donation. I thank you for that. Who says Kim Jong's sister will be way worse than him. There will be no overthrow. Yeah, I've been hearing about that. She is pretty bad. She's pretty ruthless. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Glorious Revolutionary, who says, hey, ABL, do you take calls on Skype? It'd be great to talk about North Korea and Vernon Jones from a UK fan. Yes, there's a Skype email in the description box. I think it's still there. Matter of fact, let me check right quick, see if it's there. And it's not there. Wow. I forgot to put it right there. But matter of fact, let me just go ahead and update that. Okay. Thank you for your donation. Let me just put a Skype email in the description box. And I thought I updated it because what I have here is just like default stuff that is normally right there. But for some reason, I don't know, must have changed it and left that out. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that there. And we're good to go. Alrighty. Okay, there, my man Bill from the Hills right there on point always. That's the email right there in the chat box from Bill from the Hills. And thank you to Donna D for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Who says, thank you for your service. Thank you for your support. I couldn't do it without you. I could not be of service without y'all. So thank you for your support. Shout out to Charles Branch, who says, ABO, you are awesome. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Shout out to Killer Sushi 99, who says, YouTube CEO is removing anything that goes against WHO recommendations. I saw that. Talking about Sujin Bojiki. I saw that. She says, or she wants authoritative sources, legacy media outlets. What happened to the First Amendment? YouTube is off the rails. Yeah, they do that a lot. But a lot of us are trying to like, we're getting the algorithm and we're doing whatever we want with it. So we're still getting the word out there. She can't block us all. If we're all talking about ways to do things alternatively, then you can't go against that. And when I saw that thing from Susan Mojiki about the WHO and we're going to trust them, why would you trust them? They were wrong about this whole thing. Aside from being Democrat, Republican, or whatever, they were wrong. What did they say from the beginning? Oh, there's no human-to-human transmission. And people were believing that, and as a result, they got pandemic outbreaks. There were direct flights coming from Italy to Wuhan back and forth after the WHO said that. Now, they got this big problem with the seniors dying in the northern part of the country. Why? Because WHO was giving them false information. And then they also said, oh, don't cut off international travel to China. Don't do that. While at the same time, China was cutting off domestic travel. Okay? The WHO is obviously in the pocket of the Chinese Communist Party, but you're going to trust whatever they say? Okay, Susan, whatever. Thank you for your donation, though, man. I definitely appreciate you. Make it to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. All right, call you on the line, 419. Who am I speaking to?
You're talking to Jay.
All righty, man. What's going on?
How you doing? Hey, I was thinking about, when the economy gets back going or whatever, I was thinking, should we do a wage freeze to give the businesses a chance to, like, get back on their feet without, people protesting about, minimum wage increases and stuff like that? I think that would, I think that would be a good idea to keep businesses going.
I mean, they can protest all they want to, but I think people will be less protesting and more just trying to get a job. Like, there'll be some people that protest, but a lot of those people are always going to protest. So it's no way to really avoid that. I say just get back rocking and rolling, and you have less regulation because that'll make it easier for them to get out there and do things. Regulation and red tape, all that stuff costs money, and it makes it hard for businesses to get back on track. If you want to get back on track and start making money, take away the regulations, don't add more.
Yeah, because for a second, I was doing petitions or whatever, and it was a petition to raise the minimum wage. But right now, I'm thinking I don't think that'd be a good idea to start that back up.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, it wasn't a good idea to begin with. It wasn't a good idea to begin with because minimum wages just means less jobs. And people that need those jobs are going to be upset when they realize, like, let's say they raise the minimum wage $15. They're going to be mad when they realize they don't have no more job. Okay, they were out there picketing and protesting, and then they get fired, or they get their hours cut to the point where they make it the same thing they made before. Okay, you get 35 hours on 725. Now all of a sudden you're getting 17 hours on 15. You got the same take-home pay, and then on top of that, you might mess around and get fired altogether, and then replaced with a robot. Because it's cheaper to bring in the robot over a 3-year period than it is for a human being. So I think some are going to protest for that, but it ain't going to be the masses. And I think overall, it'd be better if the masses did not get that minimum wage increase.
And I have one more question. I'm thinking about, China is communist, right?
Yeah.
I don't really think that we can policy a communist country or whatever. I don't think the things that we're doing is going to work. I think we need to directly confront China and, and do what we have to do, maybe militarily.
Well, I mean, I'm hearing that a lot. That is what I'm hearing, but I don't know. That's going to be kind of rough because when you're talking about trying to, hit China militarily, that's going to be an issue because you're talking about the whole world will shake up. They have nukes. We got nukes. That'd be a problem. So that should be the last resort, but it might ultimately be what happens. Hopefully not anytime soon, because that'd be a serious issue there if we were to try to, directly attack China for sure.
Yeah, because you know what? Yeah, I think if we did, let's say, get into a confrontation with them, I don't really think that the Russians are going to help them like everybody thinks.
Well, I don't know. That's a good point. I think what China does is they get a lot of countries on their side by bullying, by getting them in these debt loans and whatnot. So I think they may end up having more enemies than friends, but it's kind of hard to tell until you get into that scenario, which I hope we don't do no time soon.
I mean, because you got a lot of countries that took a lot of money from China, right?
Yeah.
And let's say if we defeated China, they wouldn't have to pay that money back. Because they wouldn't have a way to enforce somebody to make them pay it back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's probably the best plan because I don't think we can out-policy or outwork them because they got slave labor, basically.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from for sure. I do see where you're coming from.
I think it's almost time to go ahead and just do what we have to do. I know people don't want to do it, but I'm thinking that's probably the best move and the only move that we got left.
Well, I see where you're coming from. It makes sense, but hopefully we don't do that.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to make hard choices, man.
Right.
But I'm going to go ahead and let you do what you do, man, and appreciate the talk.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot. It's like, hey, man, you might have to go to the military option because what else are we going to do? I've been hearing that a lot. You know, that's something that is not lost on me at all. All righty. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me some likes on the video. I'd appreciate you if you did that for me. Also, share the video. That's a good thing as well you can do. But let me get back to it. All right, calling you on line 7. Who am I speaking to?
Good afternoon. Let me speak to Dr. Logan, please.
Speaking.
Doctor, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, Doctor. Doctor, I saw your video when you were talking about, I guess some journalists were talking about some statistics, right? And then you saying like the whole thing is not really what it is.
Huh? What did I say?
Journalists. Remember there were journalists that were like a setting. They were waiting for the president to give the briefing. Those were journalists, right?
I'm not sure who they were.
Well, they're journalists. So now they fake news 90%. So how come you trust them now? Why did you change, Doctor? Why you trust them now, but you would never trust them before?
Well, I didn't say I never trust journalists. I say that a lot of them are fake. But I was able to actually. But wait, sir. I'm not done answering the question. I'm not done answering the question. I was able to actually fact check them before I said anything about it, and I was able to find out that they were telling the truth.
So they were telling the truth this time. But when they checked before, certain things that Trump said, they were.
That was a nice try. That was a nice try, but that didn't work. Because I was able to fact check them before I said anything about them.
You trust them. You trust the media sometimes, but sometimes you don't trust them.
I always fact check every source I hear on the mainstream media.
You fact check. So how do you know that fact check is real?
I checked it. I got a source.
Right?
I got a source.
Came from the journalist, right?
Look, sir.
From the newspaper.
No. It came from USC. They put out a statement, not from the media.
All right. So actually, it was a study in the New York Times that for the oxychloroquine that you say that the reason that New York have the higher numbers of people infected and dead is because they don't get in the best treatment, on your humble opinion. You say that in your humble opinion. You didn't say that was a fact. Well, your humble opinion is not the truth because...
Wait. Pause. An opinion can't be true or false because it's your opinion, but go ahead.
Well, it's your opinion, but I'm going to give you the fact. The fact is that there was a study, that means studies in New York. Actually, most of the patients in New York are receiving oxychloroquine, and there was a study with 434 patients. The majority were older, over 40 years old. The result came out with 21% recovery, and the rest did not recover. And someone would die from oxychloroquine itself. So
okay, so how many died in New York totally?
I mean, thousands have died.
So out of the thousands that died, how many took hydroxychloroquine?
According to the study, we're 434. I mean, I don't know. This is an study.
Oh, so you don't know? Okay, I got you.
But I'm just telling you in base of the study. I don't have any data.
So you don't know. So if you don't know, why'd you bring it up?
Well, I'm bringing you the study that's been done.
Sir, you got to have your facts together.
Well, that's a fact.
You kind of all over the...
You have a study, there's a fact.
Okay, now I asked you a question about the study. I asked you how many died from...
No.
Sir. I asked you a question about how many died from hydroxychloroquine, and you said you don't know. So
I don't know
before you bring it up, sir, wait a minute. Before you bring it up, get your facts right. How about that? I got my facts right. Get your facts right.
So according to the study, 434 to oxychloroquine, over 40 years old, 21% success rate. Now, there's another study they're going to do it with, I think it's 800. So with different ages, different conditions, we're waiting for that study to come out next week. So oxychloroquine is not really an efficient drug, number one. Number two, it's not a drug that targets COVID-19.
Okay, now... I saw. No, wait. I'm gonna talk now.
Wait.
I saw the study you talking about. The study you talking about. They also treated them with traditional methods. They did not say what methods were. They could have been a ventilator. It could have been anything. They didn't disclose that. See, you're a little bit short with your knowledge, and your knowledge ain't all the way there. I saw that study. It said they had hydroxychloroquine and quote unquote traditional methods. What are those methods? Ventilator or wet? Could it have been the regular method that killed them, or was it the hydroxychloroquine? Which one is it? That's what I want to know, because it seems like that was not really laid out in this study, all right?
A doctor, please. Don't
Wait, sir.
Me.
Am I right or wrong?
You are not a doctor.
Am I right or wrong? Sir, listen to me.
To
I need you to be quiet and answer my question. Sir, I mean, when you talk, while I'm talking, nobody can hear you. When you talk, when I talk, nobody can hear you. You're on mute right now. Now, if you're talking right now, I can't hear you. The question was, am I right or wrong? In the study, they said that they treated them with traditional methods and also with hydroxychloroquine. So could they have died from traditional methods or hydroxychloroquine? You don't know. I don't know. So you can't make inferences from that. Furthermore, you don't know how many died in the study. You say 434 were in the study and 21% died, but you don't have the actual number of the people that died that were on hydroxychloroquine, and you don't know what percentage that is of the total that were in New York City that actually passed away. You had 8,000 deaths in New York City. So how many of the 8,000 died that took hydroxychloroquine, and what else did they do when they took it? Was it administered properly? Did they take zinc and stuff like that too? You don't have all your information. I do. You don't. Next.
So tell me who doctor did this study that you're working on? Tell me the name of the doctor to Google it right now.
So what now?
Tell me the name of the doctor that did this study that you know. Tell me the name of I'm gonna Google it right now.
It's someone you're talking about. It's the same one.
Oh, so you read a study that people did with oxychloroquine that was more successful. That study was done in New York.
Sir, you're not listening, sir. But see, what you got to do is start, sir. What you got to do is start listening. I did not say it was more successful. I said that there were other things that they were doing aside from hydroxychloroquine in your study.
You know that.
I read the study. It said it right there in the study. I read it.
Oh,
did you
really?
read it?
Oh, really?
I know how to read. Do you know how to read, sir?
The study from New York the study from New York just closed recently. There's another study that's going to be next week. Oh, I move on, man. I move on. So you don't have no empirical data, and then you believe the fake news when it feeds your needs, but when it doesn't feed your needs, you don't believe it. I understand. Hey, Anthony, another question, Dr. Logan. Are you there?
I'm here. Go for it.
How much you guys get paid for those viewers, man, in your YouTube channel?
Mind your business. How about that?
So I know you gotta sell, but I know you gotta sell, Dr. Logan. I know you gotta make that sale, so you gotta convince people.
All right. Look. I don't got all day. You're not gonna get into the personal stuff. So, it's more political things. Or are you done?
Last point about the mayor of Las Vegas. All right.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be in coordination with the governor. She's supposed to be in coordination with the hotels owners, casino owners, restaurant owners. So what Anderson Cooper was asking her is, according to the Trump administration, they still want to practice social distance even during the reopen. They are not against the reopen. Remember, what they're saying is,
get to the point quickly. We don't got all day. Get to the point.
So what Anderson Cooper was asking her, what kind of regulation that she's planning to engage with the restaurants in social distance, and she didn't respond. She said, "Just we're going to open and we're going to come to be welcome." And she was saying that's the responsibility. No, it's a coordination with her, the governor, and the state officials, because the state officials, they are
okay, sir. Get to the point. What's the point? Get to it. We don't got all day.
The point that she was wrong.
Wrong about what? What was she wrong about?
She was wrong.
What was she wrong about?
Because, I mean, you the mayor, I live in Boston, right? In Massachusetts.
Sir, get to the, you talk a little bit too much. Get to the point. What was she wrong about? Tell me now.
The point is, what kind of guidelines she going to have for restaurants?
That's not her job. That's not her job. She is,
her job.
Look, listen. What she does is she recommends what the government says. The government says, I'm going to answer the question. You're going to be quiet. The government says social distancing and, washing your hands, wearing a mask or whatever. That's their guidelines. That's a recommendation. So she can recommend that, but how the restaurants and casinos are going to implement that is on them. She's not a casino owner. She's not going to be in there messing with the machines and moving furniture. That's not her job. Her job is to just say, okay, here's the guidelines. You guys can handle it, figure out the logistics of it yourself, because she's not in that particular space. Her job is not to enforce how to do with things specifically for each business, which may be different. Her job is to say, okay, here's the guidelines. This is what we want you to do, this and this and this. You do that and have that be that. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to the mayor. See, the mayor can't just go into every casino and be like, all right, well, move the table over here, move chips over there. You got to just do what you're going to do as a business. That's how it's supposed to be. Give them some freedom. Give them guidelines, but give them freedom to do things however they're going to do it. When you go to different fast food joints, they handle the things differently. Okay, you go to Panda Express, they got their own little setup. Chick-fil-A got their own little setup. Some got the curbside, some got in the window. They all do it differently. She cannot tell everybody how to do their particular thing. She's not a consultant to go to every store, every casino, every barbershop, beauty salon, or whatever, and tell them how to operate their business. That's not her job, but I digress. All right. Now, shout out to everybody watching. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. And shout out to my man, Brandon Tatum, for the donation. I see you, boss. Thank you, man. He says, ABL is the man. Better get your facts straight. That's right, man. Get your facts straight. If you want to come to the show, you want to debate, get your facts straight, Ivan. But let me get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. All righty. Caller, what's going on?
Hey, Bjorn, how you doing? It's Matthew, Glorious Revolution. I think the last time I called you would have been over a year ago now. I don't know if you remember when Robert Mugabe was removed from power, and I called up and talked about Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was wild.
It was a good, long time, but it's good to see you still going well and growing. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I see you've got some new fans like Ivan the Terrible as well. So that's all. Basically, I just called up really to sort of just talk about sort of Vernon Jones and North Korea a little bit. Vernon Jones is kind of a shocking thing, really, because one, I think his removal from the party shows that Blue Dog Democrats are essentially dead.
Yes. Yes.
Which is a shame, really, because, I mean, obviously the reason why the Democrat Party don't want him in their party is, one, he's endorsed Donald Trump, and two, he's an African American that's endorsed Donald Trump, and that's obviously problematic for them. Secondly, one of the reasons why a lot of Democrats view Biden as this great hope is they think he appeals to Southern voters, and obviously Vernon Jones is a Southern congressman, so who's obviously in the Democrat Party, so it shows a sort of element of disunity. So that's obviously one of the reasons why they've also decided to get rid of him. But ultimately, I think it's a disaster for the party, really. I think, one, if you're a Democrat who might favour a little bit of state intervention, e.g. you might support a more centralised system of healthcare. Obviously, I personally disagree with that. I mean, I'm British, not that it matters anyway, but the NHS is quite flawed, and I don't know if you've seen anything on it during the COVID-19 outbreak, but the hospitals are absolutely packed. There's some serious rationing going on, and Britain actually has half the amount of beds per 100,000 people than Italy does. And I believe Italy still has the highest death toll in Europe, and I wouldn't be surprised once Britain gets past its peak, or when this whole thing's over, whenever that will be, if Britain would have the highest death toll in Europe, or at least be among the top three. That's definitely going to happen. But back to Vernon Jones and the Democrats in general. So if you're a moderate, you believe in, say, more intervention in healthcare, maybe you might favour a progressive tax system, but you're also a little bit on the social conservative side. You're kind of screwed, really, because your party's basically been taken over by a bunch of progressives. I mean, it's one of the reasons why so many people on the Rust Belt vote for Donald Trump, for the exact same reason, that the Democrats had essentially abandoned. I mean, think about it. Unions are going to Donald Trump. Union voters are going to Donald Trump. And that's a big danger for the Democrats. And obviously they picked Pence because he's from Pennsylvania, which is a Rust Belt state. But other than that, it's not really, that's pretty much all he has in common with them. I mean, one, his he's aging pretty bad. He's clearly got dementia. There's no doubt about that. And I kind of feel sorry for him to some extent. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is a sort of used car salesman style politician. I mean, ironically, his father was a used car salesman, so that doesn't surprise you. Who will take on any position. But I mean, that's pretty much most politicians in general anyway. So, but you look at him, you look how sharp he was against Paul Ryan. Whether or not you agree with him or disagree with him, obviously we disagree with, Joe Biden on most issues. But if you look at him in his debate against Paul Ryan, he was sharp. He was dominant in that debate in terms of appeal in general. But you look at him now, I mean, he is really a shadow of what he once was. I mean, he can't put a coherent sentence together. There was something, I think it was on CNN. What was his name? There was a journalist, an Indian journalist, and he just sort of cringed. He was supposed to be agreeing with Joe Biden, but he was cringing at him, just stumbling on his sentences. I mean, it's going to be he's going to get ripped apart when the election happens. I mean, dementia Joe is going to be a common phrase. And believe me, he's no Ronald Reagan. He can't pull off the opponent's youth and inexperience line like he did against Walter Mondale in 1984. That's not going to happen in this case. Definitely not. Just another question regarding that, because obviously I don't live in the US, I live in the United Kingdom. How does the sort of general sort of voter, I believe, do you still live in West Virginia?
Nah, that's where I was born. I don't live there though.
Ah, right. Where?
I'm in Tennessee.
What state? Tennessee. Oh, nice. Okay. Tennessee's a bit more Republican, but generally, how is sort of Biden perceived across the board? Because a lot of Brits are under this delusion that Americans absolutely despise Trump. Nobody likes him. It's just a tiny minority of racists. But in reality, obviously, that's not the case. Clearly, otherwise he wouldn't become president in the first place.
That's right.
So what do you think most Americans think of the race in general?
Well, most Americans, honestly, don't know a lot about politics. That's the reality. But some people that do, I think you have more Trump supporters that are actively involved with politics and watch the news all the time, that know what's going on, than people that support Biden. People will support Biden because he's a Democrat and he was aligned with Barack Obama. Now, you got some progressives, the far leftists, regular leftists, people that are in tune, they'll vote for Biden because he's the guy. The thing I'm seeing right now in America is that people will vote Biden just because he's there. He's the guy. They're not enthusiastic about it. It's reminding me what happened with last year with Hillary Clinton. People voted for her because they felt like they had to rather than actually wanting to go out there and do it. Same thing with Joe Biden. And people are enthusiastic and excited about voting for Donald Trump. I don't see any Joe Biden bumper stickers, yard signs, anything like that anywhere near. I see some Buttigieg stickers and some, what else? I saw a Kamala Harris sticker, but I have not seen any Joe Biden stuff. No hats, no shirts, no stickers, no yard signs, but I'm seeing plenty of Trump flags. I was in one neighborhood and I might have seen 10 houses, 4 of them had Trump flags out in front. So that's what I'm seeing right now out where I am. And once you go across the country, it's probably the same way unless you get into a major city. And at that point, you don't see Trump apparel, but you're not going to see Democrat stuff too much either. And if you do, it'd be like Bernie Sanders. It won't be Joe Biden at all.
No, absolutely not. I mean, from what I've seen, I think you're right. I mean, generally, obviously, as a it's very difficult. You'll find very few Brits who will, hear that sort of perspective. Generally, just because the BBC, obviously, a lot of their sources when it comes to American news does come from, they do sort of leech off of CNN, MSNBC, Reuters gets leached off a lot, and even NPR. So, it's always good to hear. I just thought I'd ask really, just because I was curious. The other thing as well is, who do you think his running mate is going to be? I mean, I heard Michelle Obama, but to be honest, I don't think she'll want to get into that frame of. I don't think she'll want to get involved.
Well, I'm gonna cut you off. I got to answer you right quick, then I get to another call. But
yeah, no worries.
Oh, it's all good. But I think the running mate is going to be not Michelle Obama, because this is beneath her. Michelle Obama has no need to run for the vice president. Number one, she knows, as we all know, that he's going to lose. It's going to be pretty epic when he loses. It could be Walter Mondale, really, because of how bad he is performing. Just the way he looks and the way he's acting, it's not going to be good. And it'll be a lopsided ticket if she were to run, because people would say, why don't you just run for the president? he'd be the vice president. He's more suited to be that role, especially in his current state, rather than being the president with her being the vice president. It'd be like if Walter Mondale would have run as Ronald Reagan's vice president. It makes no sense. He shouldn't be running with him, number one. And number two, he shouldn't be the president. Reagan should be the president. It'd be the same thing with Michelle Obama, so it won't be her. I think it'd be Stacey Abrams. I think it'd be her because she's been going on TV talking about it a lot, and it just kind of makes sense. And she's not currently in government. She's kind of a loser, so it makes sense for losers to connect together rather than anybody else like Michelle Obama, who has much more to gain from being outside in the general public than she does by running with a loser like Joe Biden. So that's pretty much all I got. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, man. And guys, make sure you protect your Second Amendment.
All day long. Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. But yeah, Stacey Abrams, she's going to be the vice presidential pick. And matter of fact, Biden said he's going to have an exploratory committee or whatever they want to call it announced on May 1st. And they would not pick somebody until July to be the vice president right before the DNC, like a month before the DNC. That'll be when the vice president is picked. And that's kind of a long time because, you know, he's a presumptive guy right now. Why not pick somebody right now? He should pick somebody that can at least talk and have him and help him campaign because, good grief, the more I see him speak, the more he just declines. And it's happening, you know, just so, I don't want to say suddenly. It's not happening suddenly. It's happening just in a way that's just really kind of unfair to him. It's sad. It really is. Okay. Let me see. Something's going on here. Hold on. Let me see if this is anything. It might be something.
Now, everybody is talking and wondering about who your running mate is going to be. I've heard, as an exclusive on this show, you're going to tell us who it is. Who's it going to be?
Well, I'm going to tell you if you keep it quiet.
Okay, honestly, literally no one is watching this.
All right, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is going to be my person.
That was kind of random. I mean, why would he even? I don't know. That's not what I wanted. I was wanting to find Al Gore because Al Gore's face, I think, said it all when he was being interviewed, or when he was having the interview with Joe. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Hold on one second. Let me get to it. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. Share the video. Like the video. Do all that good stuff for me. That'll help me out a whole lot. There was a GIF I wanted, but I lost it. I hate when Twitter just automatically refreshes and you lose your space.
What's happening? We're not organizing, and if we don't organize the world, who organizes it? Who organizes it? And so there's so much, I think, anyway, look.
You see his face? Like, his facial expressions tell everything. He's like, what's going on? If you didn't catch it, let me just run it back right quick. Hold on. Watch.
Much, I think, anyway, look.
He's like, what's going on here?
One more question here. Is it too late to address the climate change in a meaningful way? What's happening?
He's like, what's going on? And this is really a shame. He sees it. Everybody sees it. This is not a thing that we can really ignore anymore. But let me get to the next call. All right, let's go. 502, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Tim from Frankfort, Kentucky.
All righty, man. What's going on?
And I want to start off by apologizing for about a week ago. I wasn't trying to argue with you. I was just trying to get some statements out there for you to shed some light on for me. But anyway, I don't know if this virus is as bad as they say it is, if they have a vaccine for it or not, or if it's just political gain. So I'd kind of like for you to shed some light on that for me, what your thoughts are.
Okay, what was the question? If it's a vaccine or like, can you repeat that for me right quick?
Yeah. It's like I don't know if it's as bad as they say it is, or if they're using it for political gain, or if there's a vaccine out there, like they said that in the White House. I seen that little statement. They said that there was a vaccine. Everybody there's been vaccinated.
I think what's happening, yeah, that was kind of crazy. I'm not sure what that was all about. Maybe they know something we don't know. They had all been tested. No, so maybe he meant to say tested rather than vaccinated, or it could have been the flu shot or something else. I don't really know. That's a good question. But I think the situation is not as bad as what they're trying to say. It is a virus, and it does, it can kill you. The same thing as the flu, because you can die from the flu. You could die from the common cold, quiet as it's kept.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've only got half my lungs working, so if I get the flu, I'm probably going to die with it anyway.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But my statements is if you can go and stand in line at a grocery store or at a pharmacy, or go through a drive-through window and be in contact with those people, well, how come you can't go get your hair cut?
Exactly. I agree with you on that. I think what's happening is that there's a level of control being exerted over people. And there's also trying to get you used to it. So you're used to having to rely upon the government, to have your hand out, not wanting to work for yourself, to get you into kind of a sense of complacency to where this is normal for you. And you go from there. And it also could be a way to attack the president, to attack Republicans. You're seeing that happen right now. And it's crazy that they would try to actually hurt the entire world to hurt the president. But that could be what's going on. I really don't know. But what I do know is that the virus has been overblown. They said the reason why we're doing this whole stay at home and the quarantine thing was to flatten the curve, not cure it, just make people get sick less quickly. But that was the whole reason to now overwhelm the hospitals. But now they're laying off hospital staff all over the country. In Virginia, they laid off 30,000 healthcare workers, 30,000 in one state. So
I've seen it's like millions signing up for unemployment.
Yeah, so it's like obviously what they said would happen did not happen, and it's time now to go ahead and stop this madness, because the longer we keep waiting, the more you're going to have unemployed, and the more that may not be able to come back from it, the more that may be permanently like this, or at least for the foreseeable future.
Right. Well, my opinion is, why are they wanting to give unemployment workers up to $600 more on top of their unemployment? Well, that seemed like it would make me want to stay home if they give it to me. They give me $600 a week, I just stay home.
I mean, that's going on. I'm seeing that a lot too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it seems like to me that the Democrats is the ones who wants to give money away. Republicans, they don't want to give the money away. They won't put it in their pocket.
Right.
And me, I'm kind of in between. I mean, I'm registered Republican, but sometimes I agree with the Democrats. Not very much, because I believe if I earn my dollar, I'm going to keep my dollar. I'm not going to go out there and give it to somebody that's standing on the street corner saying they need it, and if they're healthy. Now, if they're down and out and can't work or something, that's different. I'll buy them some food or something. And then they're wanting to give this $1,200 away, but everybody's not seeing it.
Right.
The ones that need it ain't getting it. The ones that don't need it is the one that's getting it.
Right.
I've got a cousin, and she's got 2 kids, and she barely over minimum wage and making it. Her and her husband both. And time they pay their bills and everything, they're struggling. Well, they still haven't got their money. But now my great uncle, he's one of them that thinks he's better than everybody. I don't know. He's probably like a Joe Biden or somebody. But he got all kind of money, and he got his. You tell me. And it's supposed to be one of the ones that making the least money to get it first, right?
It's supposed to be. That's what I'm thinking would make sense.
Yeah. Well, that's what they said. But I was just calling I don't understand why they're keeping it shut down as long as they are, when I can go to the grocery store or to the pharmacy or to the restaurants or wherever. I can go outside and walk up and down my road wherever I want to go. But yet they don't want to open up these haircut business or fingernail business or construction business that's got inside work and factories. And if they don't open it up quick, then they're not going to be able to rebound from it unless the government gives them a big handout.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because like I say, I don't know if it's as bad as they say it is, or if it's even out there at all. I don't know. I'm thinking they have a vaccine and just give them to people they want to. I don't know what they're doing.
Right. No doubt, man.
But hands down, I believe Trump's going to win the election, hands down.
Oh, ain't no question. That's pretty much in the bag at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't look for nobody can beat him. But anyway, I just want to get that out there and get your thoughts on it and think about it for a while. I just don't understand how the government works sometimes.
I'm right there with you, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, I appreciate it. You have a good night.
Same to you. All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate it. If you like what you're hearing so far, hit a thumbs up on the video. Give me a like on the video. That'll do great for me. And shout out to the super chatters right quick before we get to the next calls. Let me see. Thank you to Damian Zabalo, who says, are liberals waiting for the vaccines with the syringe emoji to open up the country to not take vaccines? Trump 2020 or the Q's NYC. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, I'm not taking no vaccines at all. So they can wait. That's fine. But guess what? I'm going back to doing what I normally do, and I ain't taking no vaccines at all. Never had a flu shot, and I didn't die. Thank you to Zach Woodcock, who says, got a bottle of sake for a time like this. Here's to you, ABL, for all you doing during this BS. As I say in Bradenburg, Prost. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Stacy Felice, who says a conference call with Ivan and the Red Pill Barista would be killer. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Shout out to you. Thank you for that. Shout out to Yuri for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Charles Branch, who says, ABL, what are your thoughts on Trump's hard stance on Iran's harassment of our Navy and commerce? Stay awesome. That's a good question. Iran's been doing that for a long time. They always do it. And they better not get too close because it could be a conflict, and they don't want that. We don't want that either. But they most certainly don't want that because they're already under sanctions, and they're going to be struggling that much harder. Okay, they got the virus and sanctions on top of that, so they don't want no smoke. But thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Let me get to the next call. 702, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony Brown, Logan. How you doing? It's Rodney Davis.
All righty, man. What's going on?
All right. I live in Las Vegas, and this is going to be pretty quick. I just want to say you have a great show. Look at it every day. Anyway, let me tell you this first. I used to work at the Wynn in Las Vegas years ago. You may not know this, but Steve Wynn, Donald Trump, seem to be very good friends. And I would see him often, okay? I'm a black man in my 50s. I have never sensed any racism from him whatsoever. Let me just say that first, because all this fake news about him being racist and crap, trust me. And I grew up in East Texas, so I know racism when I see it. He is not racist. Secondly, I want to say this. I work at Caesar's Palace now. Okay, we were all working there during Chinese New Year. Okay, a lot of these people from China come straight from China to Vegas, speak no English. This is before the ban, before the flight ban. Okay, we're touching the same chips, money, rails, elevator buttons, phones, you know the deal. And I know thousands, well, I don't know thousands, there's thousands of people that work there. I know hundreds of people that work there. And I'm just talking about Caesar's Palace. This is going on all over the Strip. Thousands of Asians from China coming there for Chinese New Year. It's a big deal. It's like 2-3 weeks long. You know, they come every year having a good time. Matter of fact, it's one of the most profitable 2-week period, 3-week period of the year because it's also during the Super Bowl week and all that coming up. I don't know not one person that got sick, got this fake virus or whatever it is. And I mean it. This is not many people wearing masks, maybe a few Asian people. And trust me, Asian people do that all year long. They'll wear masks here and there, you know. No one, not one person. I'm sitting at home now, you know, all of us are. You know, I'm not sure if you know the mayor, she wants the casinos and business to open. The governor, Sisolak, is totally against it. So they're at odds going at each other. And, you know, most of the city is like thinking like me, well, wait a minute. We were in a perfect soup of conditions with this so-called China virus, whatever you want to call it, Wuhan virus. And, perfect super conditions, cool weather, close proximity, touching door. I mean, dealers are 3 feet away from these guests, and a lot of them play very big money in the baccarat for hours every day. Okay, perfect conditions to catch something like that. Sneezing, talking, touching the same chips, touching faces, the works. And I don't know one person, not one. You know, and I'm on Facebook. I'm a popular guy. I got lots of friends. Matter of fact, I even know butlers. A lot of the butlers are Asians because they speak their language. You know, so they can. A lot of these high-end players are Asian. They have these huge villas they get to stay in for free because they spend so much money. These butlers I know, Asian butlers, they're with them constantly the whole day. They wait on them hand and foot. Friends of mine on Facebook, not one of them got anything. Not one. So, you know, if you're not going to catch it then, there's no way you're going to catch it in a park or anything else. I just really doubt whatever's going on. It's not what they're saying is going on, and it sure wasn't worth shutting down the whole country or the world. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry. I'm never going to believe that. If we didn't catch it then, and that's, like I said, this is before the flight ban, and, you know, and then later on the European ban, and thousands of them were here. You know, they're usually here all the time anyway. No one that I know. I'm not saying no one got sick in Vegas, but no one I know, and no friends of mine know of anyone that got this or died. And that's all I want to say. I want to keep it short. I know you have a lot of other people that want to get on, but you have a great show. And I hope your neighborhood is doing okay from those twisters.
And thank you for that, man. You know, things are going a lot better here. Some still don't have power even to this day, which is kind of crazy. But for the most part, everything's back to normal, man. But thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Keep up the good work, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, shout out to the caller. That's a good point. You know, they're right there in the mix. Everybody's in there touching chips and elevator numbers and the doors on the hotel rooms and everything else, the front door, the bathroom, the whole 9 yards. And it wasn't like this whole big fallout of it. If it were to be an outbreak, it'd be right there. So, hey, that's a good point. So it's like, let's go ahead and get back to what we were doing. It's simple. It is what it is. But thank you all for joining. We got a few more calls on the line I'm going to get to. 210, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, can you hear me, Anthony?
I hear you well.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, I just wanted to thank you for what you're doing. I don't know how your channel popped up on my feed, but I've been following you now, man. You're doing some great work. My name's Jose. I'm sorry. I'm calling you from San Antonio, Texas, and I just want to put out a little bit of positive energy out there. I know that this is a really scary time that we're going through for a lot of people. But, you know, to me, what's more scary is the economic ramifications of the virus. It's just, you know, initially I was a little disheartened with how, you know, American people they did the runs on the toilet paper and all that kind of stuff. In a way, I feel like this was a big test from the globalists to see how we would react, how ready we are for a totalitarian state. And we did pretty poorly, but on the flip side of that, we got people like yourself that stepped up and they're spreading the truth. And, you know, initially I was a little bit like I was kind of a little scared. But now I'm very encouraged. And I just want to encourage people that we're changing. You know, like once upon a time, we went from the industrial age to the computer age. This is another transition. It's going to be a new time. And right now, the people that don't care about humanity are being exposed, and the people that do are going to come forward. So I just want to encourage everybody. This is not going to be an easy time. There are people that are losing their livelihoods that are going to suffer. You know, the economic recession is real and it's coming. But, you know, human beings, we have evolved for millions of years to overcome situations like this. So I just want to encourage everybody that, you know, I think for a while, everybody was kind of asleep at the wheel. And when Trump got into office, that was kind of, you know, the catalyst of what set everything off. And now with the COVID thing, it's really going to wake up the American giant. So I just want to encourage people. And listen, I'm not necessarily a Republican. I didn't vote Trump. I like Trump. I support our president. I do. And I like the fact that he stands up and he tells the truth. But, you know, I'm not necessarily, you know, I'm not a Trump voter. But, you know, we need to reach across the aisle, and we just got to realize, man, we're all humans. We're all Americans. We're in this thing together. So whether you're blue or red, we got to get rid of those labels, and we really got to start thinking, in human terms. Because to me, this feels almost biblical, because it's like the end result is that now they're talking about this tracing and tracking and the vaccine. And we all know that that's going to lead to trying to get everybody chipped. And I will be damned. I have a 5-year-old daughter. You will never chip me or my daughter. So I just want to encourage everybody that it is definitely going to get hard before it gets easier, but good always prevails over evil, and we are going to be okay. And, those people are exposing themselves for what they are, the fake news media, all that stuff. It's all coming to light. So I want to encourage everybody, don't be afraid. Soak it all in and just thank God that you're alive in these times when things are changing, because it is going to get better. We will come out stronger and we will come out more united. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you're right about that for sure. I think you're definitely right, because it's a trying time. Things look bleak, but we're down but not out. And we come on the other side much better. And I think we'll also be able to understand what the government is and their whole role in the situation. Some that may not even really be in the politics may kind of be aware of what's happening. So I think some positive most certainly could come from this. Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Well, I just want to encourage you and tell you that we need people like yourself to put this type of energy out into the world. I want to encourage you to continue doing what you're doing. And I want you to know that you have silent support here in America. We need good people like this. And I just want to encourage everybody to stay positive. And we really got to get over these labels, and we got to start looking in things of terms of just humanity. And I'm not some tree hugger. I'm not some softy. I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in the Second Amendment. Believe me, I have a daughter. I protect her to the death. I'm not, sometimes you got to protect your house, and sometimes it has to be with arms. I'm not saying any of that, tree hugging type of stuff. None of that.
But it is.
But what I'm saying is, like, man, when you really get down to it, everybody just wants to be happy, whatever makes you happy, and everybody just wants to, have the opportunity to raise their children. So, we get carried away with these labels and these divides, but, man, don't fall for it. That's the old okie doke. That's the old, divide and conquer. We're all really the same thing. We're just different shades of color, but, man, we just want to be happy, and we just want our kids to be happy, man. I just want to say I love everybody, man. Take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right. Shout out to my man, Jose. That was an excellent call. Fantastic call. He's right on point. You got to see the light in the dark, see the light at the end of the tunnel, and see how this whole thing could pan out for the good, for the better. No, that's what I hope can be. That's definitely what I want. So, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on in the future. I just got to remain optimistic for sure. That's all you can really do, Alrighty. But thank y'all for being here. You guys are fantastic. Let me get to some more calls. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And the lines are jumping. I'm going to try to get everybody on as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. I'm going to get to you. 712, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Alan from Sioux City, Iowa. I'm going to start out with some good news here. We've got there's 2 racetracks here close to where I live at. It's actually in South Dakota, a little bit south, north, a little bit west of Sioux City, Iowa. Well, guess what? They're going to open up their racetrack this weekend. And it usually holds about 4,000, but they're only going to do like 700 seats. But I just want to let everybody know that South Dakota is open for business. So
there he is. Good to hear it. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just saying, they're also doing something. I heard that they're going to have it a live event where I think it's like $29.99 or something like that, where a person could watch it too. So it's some type of sprint. I'm not too much into it, but I thought, hey. But anyhow, I got some theories here I want to throw at you. Kind of looking at some stuff here now. Before all this happened, we've had the phony Russiagate, and then we had the phony Mueller probe, and then we had the impeachment, and then now we got coronavirus. Now, I'm going to look back a little bit here, go back a little bit, and let me see what was happening in Europe at that time. Oh, we had a yellow vest protests going on. Started in France, went to Germany, Italy, pretty much England, and then all of a sudden we have this coronavirus, which basically shut everybody back inside. So it's like the globalist people are they're pushing back here a little bit. Just, I know it's kind of a conspiracy thing here, but yeah, I kind of think, listening to some of this stuff, this can't be just a coincidence that this was made in, or it came from this virus came from a Wuhan wet market. There's kind of some little bit of evidence is basically kind of stating that it might have come from a lab, and then there's some news agencies I've heard that this was basically transferred from the United States to the Wuhan lab. Did you hear about that or not?
I heard about that. The virus could have come from the lab in Wuhan, which makes sense because it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there, and then it got released, and then, it's just too many things. I mean, the only way that he could, hurt the American people is bring down. I mean, President Trump is bring down the economy, which is pretty much they have. Now, just recently too, I didn't hear you on a video on it. So we had, I don't know if I'm assuming a lot of your callers might have heard something about that, but that oil prices dropped down to below $40 a barrel, right?
Yeah, they're below zero at one point.
It was below zero, but it went negative $40 a barrel, which meant that if you understand a little bit of that, it's just like if you got a freezer full. I'm going to explain this real fast. If you got a freezer full of food, and I come in with 2 bags of frozen meats, you have no place to store it. So that's why it just dropped it down to zero, where Trump was saying, we got to get the economy going, and we've got, I'm going to fill up the reserves. Remember him saying, I'm going to fill up these reserves. There's just no place to put it. You've got to have the economy. You got to have the people got to go back to work. And then you've got the Democrats, which basically right now with the states, because basically the states run, that's the way our Constitution's set up, is the states run each state. And then now you got, like that dimwit that's in Michigan, you can't buy seeds. I went to try to buy some seeds today. I couldn't buy some seeds because they come from Michigan. So I'm just trying to I'm throwing something out there where everybody's got to look at this, and you can't keep, and then I said this a while back here too, to you, was that we had a stimulus bill in the Obama era, right? $1 trillion, if I remember right. Shovel ready jobs, right? And now we've got a $2 trillion, which actually can be a $6 trillion. Now they're coming out with another $500 billion or $600 billion. That'll probably equal up to another $1 trillion. When does you can't keep printing the money? The money's going. There's either two things going to happen. It's going to go completely bubble, where you're going to have super inflation, or the other one, which maybe we just need to let it happen and have a correction, and it's called deflation, which basically you have to kind of study that a little bit about deflation, but you can all debts all of a sudden become forgiven. So you get out, it's kind of, you go into like a depression a little bit, you come out of it, then you have like inflation back again, then you come back with a depression again, you come back up, then you can start going up, on inflation, which it takes time. So I just do you think that we can keep printing?
I mean, that's the only thing we can do, but that's not going to be sustainable. You're going to have problems as a result of that. So I'm not sure how much longer we can do that without having some serious issues, more issues than what we have already from the printing.
Exactly. I mean, you can't. The federal government right now we're at what 0% interest, pretty close. I mean, it's people when this is all over with. What I expect is that I don't think you're going to see too many people out there going out buying cars, because we're a credit society. We don't have gold anymore. We lost gold during Nixon years. He signed it over to become a credit society. So people are not going to go out and buy brand new cars after this, or they're not going to go out and buy a brand new house. because they're going to be worried about my job and stuff like that. So I'm heading for something that is going to happen, but I still believe in what we have for president. Joe Biden, voila, I don't care. I'll never go as a Democrat my whole life. So it's just a thought I want to throw there. I'm throwing it all out there. Have people think. I'm growing my own food, boys and girls. I'm just gonna I'm starting to plant my own garden. I'm going to grow my own food. I'm not going to rely on this going to the market and hoping, because you just don't know anymore. So I hate to be a depressive thing, but we got to get the economy going. That's the number one thing. So I did ask Steve King that question you asked, and he said he thought the president was going to try to open it up as soon as possible. So, because I had typed you a deal on a couple days ago on that Steve King, which is my congressman here in Iowa. I asked you something about what would your question be, and he's like he wants to open up the economy here too. But I just want to throw that out there on a couple good notes. For instance, the race cars starting up. That's a good sign. It's a good sign. So I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you. You do the best as far as I'm concerned. So you take care of yourself and be safe, all right?
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
All right. Shout out to you guys calling in. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the next call. Hey, hold on. Do I have anything I need to be... Okay, let me just get myself together here. Okay, I think I'm good now. Let's go 206. All right, call you on the line. 206, who am I speaking to?
Hey, toxically masculine deplorable. What's up, baby, yo?
Everything's good, man. About yourself?
Doing good. This is Dougie. I was just chilling, listening. Man, great call, Alan. Great call. Good job. And listening to everybody basically think out loud the same way I think. And then Ivan set me off, man.
Of course.
Man, dude, the reason why we trust John Roberts and Doug Mills is because, man, they was like Van Jones. They thought they was off mic. Dude, everybody knows this. When you're out representing the corporation you work for, you know what I mean? You toe the party line, man. You're under contract. So, but basically... I spoke like 10 minutes last time, so I'm just going to make this quick, okay? Not all doctors take the Hippocratic Oath, all right? Is it one snake or two snakes, all right? They do the Declaration of Geneva, but it's all open to interpretation. So anybody who's talking about the Hippocratic Oath needs to understand, the medical-industrial complex, okay? It doesn't work like that. But Sermo did a study of, over 6,000 doctors from 30 countries, and the number one treatment is hydroxychloroquine, the Z-Pak. You can see that with Dr. Shiva. He did a great interview on X22. Dr. Stephen Smith on the Ingram angle. Dr. Anthony Cardillo of ABC was on ABC 7. Dr. Zelenko, MD. There was the study in Marseille, right? And so the only study I've seen that said it was bad, other than the fishbowl cleaner thing, was CNN and some VA study. And so I'm thinking, are they either cherry picking, or is Anderson Cooper overprescribing medication to some old veterans who already have health complications? Because now I'm starting to get pissed. So that's why I wasn't going to call in today. But, this is getting ridiculous, man. These people, they don't want to take the Trump pill, even though it's a generic. He's not going to make no money off of it. But they're willing to take that Trump check. And then if you look at debtclock.org, they gave us $1,200, but your debt went up $8,000. So, yeah, great. Either way, love the show. I'm going to let other people call in, try to get it on a cooler note, But hey, when I see Carson and Trump and Pence together, and I always just think calico. I don't know, man. It's rough, man. I don't want Ivan prescribing that fake corporate news that could get people killed, man. They're crimes against humanity, man. I wasn't going to call in because, I was just chilling. And then I heard him saying that stuff, and I was like, no, he's got to do his homework. This is serious, man. This is serious. You don't want people dying. So either way, hey man, it's always good talking to you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you as always.
Like I said, yeah, make it short, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, now take care.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. You guys have been fantastic tonight. Excellent. Wow. Who we got? Shout out to Fafa Fohi, Two Boss. I know I butchered the name, and I'm sorry, but thank you for your donations, man. Definitely appreciate you. All righty. And did I get everybody else? Hold on. Let me see here. Let me get to the super chats, and then I get back to the refresh right quick. My man crashed the super chat screen. I can't even see what's going on. All righty. I'm going to get back to that in a minute. Jordan, what's going on?
ABL, you can hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay, you were just basing out for a second. How you doing?
Everything's great, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Just a quick update. You know the lawsuit Jussie Smollett filed against Chicago?
Yeah.
It got tossed out today.
that was predictable, but hey, I'm glad they actually did it and didn't do something crazy like actually entertain it and give him some money.
Yeah, he has to kind of wait until all his proceedings are done before he can actually file lawsuits against anyone. What was I going to ask? Oh, the whole thing with Anderson Cooper. Yeah, the moment I heard him talk about Chinese researchers, I had to stop right there because, I thought we learned our lesson with this whole thing. Apparently, it's just amazing. People still don't get it. I remember there's a viral video on Twitter right now where this Asian woman, I think from Houston, bought 300 masks from China. And what she did was she did a test. She took a mask she bought from Houston and a mask she bought from China, and she put each of them on one at a time. And then she held a lighter, and if she could blow the lighter and the fire doesn't go out, then the mask works. So she put the Houston mask on and did the lighter, and it didn't blow out, which meant it worked. But she put the Chinese mask on, and then she blew the lighter, and the fire went out.
Wow. Not surprised at all. I mean, are you surprised? I mean, like, my thing is this. Okay, why are we still buying Chinese stuff right now? Like, okay, you want to buy a cell phone or some kind of cheap toy or something like that, that's one thing. But you want to buy something to protect your health and get it from China? I mean, come on. We know they make shoddy stuff. So if you're trusting your life with a Chinese mask, then I'm not really sure what's going on.
Yeah, and that it just reiterates the point that we need to stop listening to China, because it's clear that China will take every opportunity to mislead you or lie to you. Like Anderson Cooper mentioning Chinese researchers, you have to stop there, because we don't even know if what they're saying is true or not. I couldn't go past that, because it's clear that the media is shilling for China. They have no intention of talking down to China at all. And it's kind of sad. I just hate it so much, man. This society we're living in, I don't think that, I have to agree with you. At some point, we have to really open up the economy back, because this society that we're living in right now is not sustainable whatsoever. Are you familiar with the whole Nancy Pelosi thing where she showed off her 24K fridge with ice cream in it?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, with showed it off to James Corden. And then the ad that came with it, that was hilarious. But she showed that off. Meanwhile, you got people in lines in the food banks in San Antonio, and even in Texas. My mom told me that she saw a line also trying to get food, because this is their first time in unemployment. And it kind of reminds you of something, you have all these rich people who are able to do what they want because they're rich. And then you got people who aren't rich who have to wait in lines to get stuff. Kind of reminds you of something. It starts to, I can't, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. It starts with S and ends with socialism. I don't know. I have to come back to that. But yeah, this is not sustainable, and Sweden kind of understands that, because they haven't shut down any economy. They just kept doing what they're doing, and anyone who's the most vulnerable, they just, they're the ones that protect them. But they know that shutting down the economy is not the best idea, especially for a long period of time. Like CNN and the experts, they're saying that if there's no virus for this thing, this could last until 2022.
That's crazy.
I don't plan to stay in my house going crazy until 2022.
No, I mean, really, I'm done right now. So 2 more years, absolutely not. It's not even that's not even a realistic expectation to actually even talk about. So I don't know why they would put that out there. Like, there's no point in even doing that. I'm done now. I'm definitely not staying here 2 more years. That's crazy. I mean, I did not commit a crime. I don't deserve to get locked up.
Yeah, it's all just pathetic, man. Somebody said that, Nancy Pelosi lied on CNN. Not on CNN, on Fox News, when I think Chris Wallace was interrogating her about the whole Chinese parade thing she did before all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, I went outside at that time to show that you shouldn't be xenophobic towards the Chinese, and we celebrated that. And even if that was true, you still basically had got people potentially exposed to this whole coronavirus thing. Nancy Pelosi is a liar. Just recently, she was asking for money because the Republicans hate her and want her out of office. I wish she was out of office because, 1, she's old, but 2, if you look at her, Tatum mentioned this, Brandon Tatum, if you look at homelessness in her district before she got elected and now, it raised up like 325%. So she's got to go. Yeah. And last thing before I go, I got some weird energy from people who don't like this travel ban, this locking down the economy Donald Trump did. And I'll read a couple of tweets before I go. This is from Jorge Ramos. This anti-immigration decision by Trump comes at the worst time. Immigrants usually don't compete with American citizens for jobs. They harvest our food, build our homes, take care of their kids and elderly, and do the jobs that no one else wants and make this a better country. And then this is from Beta O'Rourke, and this one's hilarious. And I want to make a point with this. Who the F do you think is working on the farms and feedlots in the packing houses and processing plants? At a time where we are struggling to feed ourselves, who is in the kitchen? Who is picking, preparing, serving the food we eat, and cleaning up afterwards? Now, I gotta mention this. This is almost like saying, now that slavery is over, who's gonna pick all the cotton?
Exactly. You were reading my mind. I was thinking, who's gonna pick the cotton? You were right in my head. I'm thinking the exact same thing. I mean, but that's how they feel. Like, that's not even. Like, Obama said that. He said, oh, they're fruit pickers and the bed makers. I'm like, really? So you don't have anybody that does anything outside of that that's, coming over here, like, from southern border? I mean, come on. That's what they think. I mean, and since they can't have their slaves, then they're going to have a problem. That's the issue.
Yeah, because that's the thing. They treat immigrants, and by extension immigrants, as a proxy slave caste system. Yeah, they're basically doing the jobs. They're doing this because they're basically doing the jobs that slaves used to do. And now that they're gone, that somebody has to fill that role, and that's where they come in. And they know they're not in a position to deal with them. And these rich people, particularly the rich leftist elitist white people, aren't going to suffer from the ramifications of all of these immigrants coming to the United States because they're rich. They got nothing to worry about. And so, of course, they'll be happy with this because not only do they have the power, but they also have a bunch of illegal immigrants or immigrants by extension working for them. So that's their mindset. This whole thing just proves that you can't please people. Like, do they want the ban? Do they not want the ban? Do they want Donald Trump to do something? Donald Trump does something, they get angry. And then he doesn't do it, and then they get angry. And now he's doing something, and they get angry. You can never please these people. which is kind of what I like about Trump, is that he just doesn't plead. He doesn't go with what people do because he knows he's not going to please them. So he just does things that at least he seems as reasonable. So I'm like, okay.
That's right.
All right. Well, I'll go. I'll let you talk with other people. See you later, chat. Stay safe and peace.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shout out to my man Jordan for the call. And thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate it. Let me get to some more here. And the lines are jumping. 210, you're in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Nate from San Antonio. How you doing, ABL?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
There you go. There's a lot going on in this country. And when I called one time, we talked about, eugenics and how this is a huge eugenics experiment. Well, I found out just from doing a little studying that there's a protein in the coronavirus called GP41. Do you know what that is, ABL?
No, I don't.
GP41 is a immunodeficiency virus. It's a protein. It's also built in HIV. Now, it's a weak form of it, and we all know that this virus, this so-called virus, is basically nothing more than a stronger flu than normal. But it's time people start asking these questions. So I called around to some of the hospitals, Johns Hopkins, and asked them for verification of what GP41 is. And a couple of them wanted to answer, and the other one said, we'll get back to you. There was only one doctor that answered what GP41 was. So what I'm looking at, because you all talk about Anderson Cooper, but Anderson Cooper is also CIA too. He was trained. He did internships at the CIA, and he admits it. He even admitted it at a press dinner. Now, you don't do an internship at the CIA and just walk away. You just don't. So with that being said, when you see these people touting China, flaunting China in our face and supporting them, what we're seeing is a form of asymmetrical warfare because we're being attacked from inside and out. We're being attacked from the media. We're being attacked by the Democrats, people who want to be free, people who want to go back to work. You got Mark Zuckerberg, Google. All these people are working for China. So we're in a form of asymmetrical warfare. So it's time for the people to start investigating themselves and start looking into the information a little bit deeper than what we have been, because a lot of people are missing this information. The biggest casualty of war first is the truth. That is always the first casualty. So now it's time for people, and they're starting to speak out. The Dems are going to lose hands down. Thank God for that. But they're actually showing their true colors. They're showing that they're communists. They're showing they don't care about the American people. Just by their actions alone, it's going to cost them. And just like what you said, what they're doing to Joe Biden is just plain abuse. I mean, what do you think, ABL?
About what specifically?
About all of what I'm just talking about. It's time that we start taking this to them face to face. I'm always one that believes in going to the source.
Yeah.
And getting the information and putting it out there for people to decide for themselves. Because we have relied on the media and television to tell us everything. That's why I like what you do, because you get out and you invest and you investigate everything.
Yeah, definitely. We gotta just one thing that I can really take away from this is that the government, you can't just rely upon them. You can't have your hand out. You can't be just saying, okay, government do everything for me and I put all my faith in the government, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you got to worry about yourself and your own health and your own safety. They can't do everything for you. And then when they do try to do everything for you to keep you safe or whatever, you're going to have a lot of problems that happen as a result. And those issues will not be solved by the government. So we got to take our lives into our own hands and be more proactive with our future rather than allowing it to be in the hands of others.
That's exactly right. And that's why the people actually have to take this back. And, you know, I love Trump to death. I've read a lot of his book, you know, and everything that he's doing is right out of his book. He's exposing all the frauds on the right and the left. He's taking them both. And people are starting to see. I've got people on the left, friends of mine, family members, who are starting to see the left for what they really are. I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi. She's on TV bragging about her $12 a pint or gallon ice cream, $24,000 refrigerator she's got in her house. But when you see the money that's backing her, a lot of it comes from China. She's getting a lot of money from Chinese producers. You know,
That's right.
so a lot of times all you got to do is follow the money.
Absolutely.
You know. So anyway, ABL, thanks for what you do. I appreciate you, man. But I just wanted to get that out there because people really need to see what GP41 is built inside the coronavirus itself. That is questionable in itself, and it's a protein of HIV. So we really need to delve into this one a little bit deeper so people can see what's actually going on.
That's right, man.
So thanks, ABL.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the call, and shout out to my man who's like blowing up the super chat. 554. I read it what he said. That's like a joke from Howard Stern. I remember Baba Booey. I remember that back in the day. I used to listen to Howard Stern. But thank you for your donations, man. I appreciate you. And shout out to Ghost Rebel who says, did you hear about what Governor Northam did in Virginia? The gun laws and no restrictions for voting. And at a time when people can't protest. Would love your input. Yeah, I saw that. But I've been saying this for a long time about Governor Blackface Northam. This is what he's in. This is what he's into. And it's not even enough to try and get him removed because the thing about Virginia, you cannot run back-to-back gubernatorial campaigns. So he's going to be gone regardless at the end of his term. That's just what it is. You can't go back-to-back. He can be the governor again, but it almost never happens because by the time 4 years is already passed, they pretty much forgot about you. You moved on with your life. That's just kind of how it goes. So he's not going to be the governor. The issue is with Virginia at its core, the politics that come from Northern Virginia that have infected the rest of Virginia. I'm being from Virginia. It really hurts my heart to see this happen, but I'm not surprised at all at what's happening right now with Governor Blackface and the whole syndicate, the whole swamp they got in Virginia, the peat bog or whatever you want to call it that infests Richmond, the capital. But thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Harley Rider 1 who says, only way the Dems win in 2020 is if we are complacent and not vote. I know they are betting on that. Exactly. The not voting thing is what they want us to do. And also they want to try and defraud the election. They want to come out here and do different things like the mail-in voting and no voter ID. They want to have that just be all over the place so they're able to engage in more voter fraud. They say, oh, it doesn't happen. Talking about it's a study that says it never shows up. Well, how can you tell from a study if there's actually voter fraud? I mean, wouldn't that result in the rest if there were? Like, the whole point is to have it be kind of covert so you don't see it. So how are you going to see it if you don't see it? It don't make no sense. But that's what they do. They engage in voter fraud. Shout out to Yardley Moise who says, reopen the economy. I'm right there with you, man. Reopen the economy as we back to work. Absolutely. Shout out to Adrian Harries who says, Nancy Pelosi, we don't care about your $25,000 fridge or your designer ice cream. She needs to be ashamed of herself. Vote her out. San Francisco, made in the USA, needs to be mandatory. Very good point right there. I'm with you 100%. And thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. And shout out to my man 554 again. I appreciate you, boss. I don't have any calls for some reason. I think my Skype is messing up. Let me restart my Skype right quick and see if we can go from there. But you guys have been great tonight. We got a few minutes left. You can get a couple more calls in. Yeah, Skype messing up, I think. But the number to call, if you don't know, is 434-658-1220. The phone lines have been blown up. Okay, that's what happened. Skype wanted to update itself. It decided to protest because it wanted to update itself. That's what happened. Alrighty. Okay, let's go ahead and restart it and see if we can get back on track. Okay, there we go. 773, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, ABL, it's Windy City.
Winning City, what's going on, man?
Hey, I ain't talked to you for a while, man. How you been?
Everything's been good, man. How about yourself?
Not too good, man. I got some horrible news, man. On December 14th, 11 days before Christmas, my 17-year-old godson was murdered on the south side of Chicago. He was shot 18 times.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. My heart goes out to you, man. That's crazy.
So, I know. I appreciate it, but it's been just really hard. He was my godson, but he was more like a son to me. He was raised by his grandmother and his aunt. And his mother and his father weren't really in his life. And me and his grandmother had went downtown to Chicago and got custody of him when he was about 13, 14 years old. And yeah, he just that kid, he just looked up to me, man. But he was set up by some people that he went to school with. And I don't know, Chicago police, they have a good detective on it, but it just takes too long, man. We know who did it. I mean, I could give you the names right now, but I guess that's considered doxing and everything, so I'm only going to do that. But so it's just horrible, man. But other than that, everything's been kind of normal, but it's just devastating. 17 years old, and his name was Isaiah Macklin, and he got an 8-month-old daughter when he was killed.
Wow, man, that's rough.
He was just a young kid just trying to find himself in this world, man, and these guys just set him up and murdered him, shot him 18 times with a 9mm Glock.
Wow.
Yeah, and these are kids that he went to school with, man.
That's crazy. That's how it is. A lot of times, people that you know, you're thinking that everything's all good, but it's not.
Yeah, it's just horrible situation, man. I was just devastated, man. That's why I hadn't really been calling in and stuff, because it's been going on about 4 months, 11 days before Christmas. I know you probably recall the week after that, there was a shooting in Chicago where like 13 people had got shot, and the mayor was on TV talking about, oh, we're going to go get these people and this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but she's full of it, too. It was crazy, though, too, because after he got murdered, even the media lied about it. They said that he was shot 5 times.
Wow.
But they knew. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 17 years old, middle of broad daylight, shot 18 times. That don't look too good. So they didn't report it accurately. And I feel like that was done intentionally. Not that it really matters, but it just kind of adds insult to injury. Just tell the truth.
Right. That's the main thing, because it's like, why lie? You're going through a tragic event, and now you want to get on TV and lie. It just, you're trying to deal with it. It makes it just that much worse.
I'll be honest with you. They really looked at it as just another young black kid that got killed, and they could care less. Is the total vibe that they gave off.
That's how they do, I'm sorry, but that's how they do, and that's why, a lot of times when we're talking about, trying to protect ourselves and things that we can do, they don't even really care, because they look at it like it's just normal in the community. They don't really care about trying to fix it up because they see it as normal. But people actually have loved ones that have passed away, and they want things to improve, but they don't really care.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is, too, when the detective came, we ended up getting a new detective. He was like, oh, well, I'm not used to working with families that are cooperating with the police department and this and that. And so, I had to go in on him. I said, just because he was killed in the ghetto and he's black, don't just assume that he's one of these people that's out there that's, I don't know, ghetto, or just, an oxygen thief, I guess you would call him.
Right.
So he
exactly.
was kind of taken back when he came to the house and he spoke to me. He spoke to the family. He was like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, there is decent people in bad neighborhoods. Not everybody in the ghetto is, quote unquote, ignorant and ghetto, So it was just horrible. And then he didn't even come and visit and talk to the grandmother till over a month after he was killed.
Mm.
Talking about he been a detective he been on the Chicago police force for 25 years and this and that. I said, and you getting out slick by a bunch of 17-year-olds. And then you come here over a month after this kid was killed in broad daylight and then expect that we're going to give you some type of respect?
Right.
Come on, man. So, but my thing is just like, to everybody listening, these people that are getting voted in, this stuff really matters. Because they talk a good game and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. But at the end of the day, with these goofy gun laws and all these regulations and stuff that they're trying to pass, they're really not protecting the people. So it really does matter who's in office and who we vote for. And people, we need to stand up and vote in for the right people, because our rights are getting slowly stripped away from us. This coronavirus is a perfect example. Now, it's like, I've been watching your videos and I've been watching other stuff too, and it's like they're cooking the books on the deaths from coronavirus.
Oh, yeah. Ain't no question about that.
So we can't really get an accurate reading on how deadly it really is. I'm not saying it's not deadly, but they're playing it up to be more deadly than it actually is.
Right.
And it's just like everything's just a lie. The media is horrible. It's a lie. I watched that video you did today. I think it was today, about the Las Vegas mayor and Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was a great video. That was a great video. I couldn't stop laughing.
Hey, she was great though. I mean, the way she was just handling it, it was perfect. It was like his mom was scolding him. It was hilarious.
Yeah, but it was like, she's a Democrat, but because she wasn't signing off on the narrative that they were trying to push, CNN, Anderson Cooper, was coming at her like she was a Republican.
Right. Yep.
So it just goes to show. And then the other guy down in Georgia, they did the same thing to him, ran him out of office.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how dumbed down has society become where it's a bad thing to have low unemployment? It's a bad thing to have low taxes. It's a bad thing to get record-breaking numbers for historically black colleges. Like, it's just crazy. He's cutting people out of prison that, were given too much time. And, like, I don't know, man. People need to wake up, man. Think critically. That's all my thing is.
That's right.
And you had a caller, I think he called right before me. He was talking about that protein. COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was another guy I was watching. He used to work for the government. I forget what his title was, but he was saying that by that protein being in the COVID-19 virus, that is proof that was built in a lab by a man, that was man-made, and that would never happen through natural cycle of any virus or anything. That was man-made.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what his title was, but he's like one of these doctors. He was like in the Reagan administration, I think, but he knows all about viruses and pandemics and things like that. That's what he did back in the day when he was working before he retired.
Right.
And he was, yeah. But I don't want to take up too much more of your time, man, but I just hope the audience knows, man, don't take life for granted, and it's real important who we vote into the office, man, because it's really affecting the people out here. They talk a good game, but you got to follow the money and see through the BS,
Absolutely, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. God bless. ABL. Stay safe.
All right, now. Peace.
Yep.
All right. My man Winning City with the call. RP to his godson, for real. All right. We got a couple more calls. I can get probably one or two more calls, and then I got to put a bow on the top. All right. Let's go. 609, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yeah, 609. Who am I speaking to?
454. Hi.
Is this you?
Yeah.
What's going on?
How you doing, ABL?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Oh, that's great. No, I was glad to give back to your channel because I've been watching you for years.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I'm just here doing what I can do.
And I figure I got some extra cash, I'll give it back.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoy your channel and your analysis and everything. I really do.
I appreciate that. I'm just trying to do the best.
All the way up here from New Hampshire.
All right, New Hampshire.
Yeah, all the way up here from New Hampshire. Well, I'm Boston raised though.
Okay, yeah, I heard the accent. I heard that, so I'm like, okay, I heard a little bit of Boston in there, but she went ahead and moved to New Hampshire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How's everything down in Tennessee?
Oh, it's okay. We're getting back to normal because we had a tornado a little while ago, and a lot of neighborhoods around here are pretty affected. Where I live, they're still working on it. There are some apartments up the way, and they still don't have power. It's been a little while now, and they're still without power, but they're trying to get everybody back on track. But it's been some devastation. We're like, where I live is like probably about a mile away from a store that got completely leveled. And when the tornado came, I heard it. It was like a train. But luckily, it didn't hit us directly. It hit very close to where I live. So I'm just thankful to be here.
You know, and when I was driving truck years ago, I went through, what was it? You know, a few southern states, and they got ran over by a tornado. It's weird.
Yeah.
You see devastation, then you see nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something. I mean, but I really love your channel, and I listen to it every day. And I have some extra cash, so I was gonna, you know, just gave it to you.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you deserve it, really. Doing a good job.
All right, no doubt.
And I put on your thing. Run for Congress, run for Senate.
Hey, that might be next. You know, people say it enough. I might have to go ahead and do it because it might just make sense.
Yeah, you could. You make a lot of sense to everybody.
Yeah.
Just common sense, really.
That's all. I mean, it's not rocket science, but, you know, common sense ain't too common anymore.
No. A lot of people, we're all born with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That people take you off track.
Right.
You know? But
Right.
Everybody has common sense.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, everybody has common sense. You know? The first time we had common sense, you know, I mean, when it comes to money, the first time somebody put a coin in your hand and said, you have to give this to get a piece of candy. Then common sense went out the window. In that respect, though.
Right.
But as far as treating people good, we all have common sense. You know? You want to be treated good? You want people to like you? Common sense. You say a good word to them, they say a good word to you. You know?
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. And all the things you've said on your channel is common sense. You know?
Hey, man, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate it. I got to go ahead and wrap it on up here. So thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep. All right. Keep cool. Do what you do.
All right, now. Take care.
Do what you do.
All righty.
All right. All right, bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. And thank you all for joining. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to more super chats here. Thank you to Liza Jean, who says, ABL, thank you so much for your gift of time to us all. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Hey, I couldn't do it without y'all, so y'all helped me to be able to be here. And thank you to my man Charles Turner Jr., who says, great video about the hot mic. The mainstream media mediocres are toast. Anderson Pooper is a knucklehead. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. But I got to wrap it on up, put a bow on the top. I'm right at my time limit. You guys have been great tonight. I'll be back yet again on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern with yet another live stream. I'll be doing all kind of stuff all throughout the week, pre-recorded on the channel. And I also have my website. I want you guys to go to the website. I've had the website for a while, but I wasn't really using it properly. It was just kind of there just to show like my contact information, all this, that, and the third, you know. So, but now I got articles on there, original content that we write over here. And it's good. You know, I got a pretty good reaction to the Mark Zuckerberg article that I wrote. It's all original content, nothing copy and pasted. It's all original stuff that we write over here. Mostly me that writes it. And the reason why I'm doing this is because people have been saying, hey, you can write pretty well in your description stuff. When I would write, I was like, okay, I can actually just take it from the description box where it was at normally and actually put it on the website and get it out to a bigger audience. So that's pretty much what I'm doing with the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONYLETTERBLOGAN.com. Follow me over there. Everything is free. Bookmark it. You know, just follow it, looking for the new information, and I'll probably put things on there that don't necessarily go to the YouTube page. Like it may just be an article about a random thing politically related on there that is not enough for a video. And if I do a video, it'll always be the article that corresponds to it on the channel. I mean, on a website, pardon me. So that'll be pretty much it. And shout out to my man Charles again, who says, by the way, Banshee Palanchi, if you're watching, you're an obnoxious troll on ABL's Facebook page. Go away and pound sand. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I got a few trolls on there, but you know what? Trolls ain't nothing but fans that have not discovered their fans yet. That's all that is. So that's pretty much what it is. But thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. You guys have been great. I'll be back again Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be doing all kind of videos we recorded all throughout the week. Look out for the unemployment numbers tomorrow. It could be between 5 and 6 million that are foul. Keep a lookout, and hopefully we get back on track. Some say the economy cannot bounce back. I say it can. We just got to be allowed to go out there and get back to it. I'm already seeing traffic start to increase. People are getting out there. They're moving around. They are hungry to get back out there to the market. Will they be able to? Will we be able to bounce back? Can we get things back on track? Hopefully we can relatively quickly, because if we can't, that's going to be a big time problem. But that's all I got. So, and moderator, thank you to all the moderators that do a great job keeping everything on track. We got Liza Jean, Michelle A, Bill from the Hills, Ansel, Streebs, True Helper, my man Killer Sushi. Who else? Everybody, thank you all for being here. Bill from the Hills, of course. You guys do a great job with the moderating and keeping the trolls in check and keeping everybody on the same page. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.